Hello, everybody. Good morning on this lovely Saturday. Welcome to the Perchy TV. I am your host, the Perchy. How is everybody? Welcome to the show. A little bit earlier than I've been doing all week, but it's the weekend. Let's do something a bit different for the weekend. Let's sort this out quickly, put that in the right spot. Who we got here? Big up John Fitzpatrick, real one of the show, always involved. Big up to you, mate. Big up Eltel. How are you doing? Good morning to you, sir. Who else have we got? Juicy over on Twitch. As I always say, go and follow this Twitch channel and get over there. Much love to you, mate. I hope you're well. Big up Cousins. Again, another real one. Always in. The sheriff is in house. The sheriff is there. Big up Mia. Always here. If you're either in the chat or you're always on the show. Much love. Good morning to you. Big up more. Good evening from Melbourne. Oh, my Australian subscribers, much love to you, Mark. Hope you are well. And we've also got another Australian, West Sydney Flamingo. Welcome, mate. Hope you're well. Have good evening for you, is it? Good evening for you. And good morning to RB. Happy weekend to all. Exactly. Happy weekend to all. And big up Video Complete. Sofian, I hope you're well. Another real one on the channel. The news has come out of late, just now, literally just now. We've just heard the news that about Mickey Moore is committing his future to Tottenham Hotspur after rumours that were being circulated that he was being linked with clubs all around Europe, the likes of Real Madrid, AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund. And we've kept a hold of him. And this lad is a good player, by the way. If you watched him, he's 15 years of age and he's playing at 17 and 18-year-old levels at the moment. And when you're that young and you're playing at that level, there is a real talent of him. So I'm really excited. I'm excited that Mickey Moore is going to stay at Spurs. Now, I think this young man has to be the reason we change the whole way we operate as an academy. Our academy now, we need to show this young man that there is a route to the first team. And we have to start doing that from now. We can't do this thing where we get in managers. We can't get in these managers that just don't associate with it. We need this to associate with the club. This young man needs to have a route to the first team. Guys, obviously in the chat, guys, if you have any questions for me, put a Q next to it and pop it in, mate. So, and I'll answer all your questions. Who else we got in? Big up Joe White. I know you're a Chelsea, but you're a real one, mate. Oh, mate, you were hating on Poch when he was at Spurs, and now you're loving him. But yeah, listen. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well. Big up to you. Big up Dragon at D's Nuts with the best name on YouTube. Best name. David Raya closer than ever. That's a great point. David Raya looks like it's getting closer and closer. For me, it needs to be done quickly. We need David Raya over the line because then that gives us the impetus to move forward on what we're doing. We really need to get this David Raya one done massively. Minerals, always here, always mudding of the wrongins, as he likes to say. Big up Perchy. And needs backing. He does. We need to start getting rid of Deadwood. We just need to start building a team that fits around this manager. Definitely agreed. I truly think Postecoglou is the right man for Tottenham. Let's do the rebuild. Take the RE out of it. Let's build. Let's do the re and just let's build. Gut the old bricks out and let's bring some new bricks and build a new house. A wonderful house that we can all live in. Guys, in the chat, just let me know. Does my camera look blurry to you when you're watching? It seems on mine, but I don't know if it is on for what you're watching. Does it seem like really like hazy? Just put a yes in there if it is or a no if it's not. It feels like it is for me, but I don't know if it's me and it's not showing that on the screen. So just let me know in the chat if that's the case. So guys, Yeah, it's blurry. I don't know why it's blurry. Oh, damn. Okay, let me fix that. I'll try and fix that whilst I'm doing it. I'm not sure why, but it's doing that. No, I'm getting yeah, mate. It is, and no, I don't know. Okay, we'll try and figure it out. Slightly, but it's fine. Okay, cool. We'll just carry on. We'll play through it. I'm not sure what's going on with my camera. it's like it's not face recognizing me properly, and it's just blurring me out. But anyway, ignore it for now. He better not be a jellyfish yes man like Potter. What's a jellyfish yes man, Minerals? You come out with some of the most mental sayings. What's a yes man, a jellyfish yes man? I don't know. I'll try and work it out. Yeah, mate. Yeah, I'm trying. If it's annoying, I'm one of those. If I see it now, I won't go and look at it, but we'll see. Question from Kankakaris. I always try and get your name right. Question: do you think that when we got Nuno in at the same, it's the same type of appointment as when we got Ange in, and did we get Nuno in for the same reason as Ange? Do you know what? I'm gonna say no. People might say, "Oh, you're just believing all what the things say." From what I've read a lot that Postecoglou was our number one target for a long time that we were after him. So you can only believe what you're told. You can only believe what you read. So I don't think it's the same. I think the Nuno one was just unfortunate for him. I did feel very sorry for Nuno, by the way, because we got him in, and it just didn't work, did it? I mean, ironically, we won the first 3 games, but it was drab, it was boring, it was terrible. I don't think it'll be the same. Dare I say it that maybe that we might start seeing a change in the way that we run. Maybe. Don't shoot me. I don't know just yet. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you think the same. But for me, I'm quite excited about Postecoglou. I'll be honest. I'm quite excited. I did start another one. Big up Juicy, by the way. Perchy. And you do the Percy because you know it winds me up. Big up to you, mate, though. What do you think of the links for Spurs going in for the Fulham centre-back? Tosin Adebayo. Now, for me, I like him. Big, tall, strong defender. My only problem is he a leader? We're dying for a leader at the moment at centre-half. We are absolutely crying out for a defender that can lead at the back. And I don't think he's that player. He might be in the future, but I don't think he is right now. But listen, I'd be happy to get him in. We need depth in that position, and he adds depth. Yeah, big up Dragon these nuts. Hope you're well, mate. Now, Mark, I thought it was my eyes, but everyone's telling me the same. Mine's just love you, mate. Hope you're well. Jellyfish means clueless. When did that become a saying? Am I just getting really old that doesn't understand what a jellyfish means clueless? But mate, big up to you, mate. You're always in the chat. Big up, mate. Potter had a poison challenge at Chelsea. He's a great manager. Yeah, I think Graham Potter's the right manager. The problem was with Graham Potter, I felt it was unfair on him. I'm going to say it was unfair on his sacking. I get why he did get sacked in the end, by the way. I do get it. But I always stand by the reasoning with Graham Potter. Did he sign those players? Or did he wasn't the one that went, I want Koulibaly at centre-back. I want Enzo Fernandez. Because I would have thought he would have wanted those sort of players. It felt like other people were buying them. Like, do you know what I mean? Other players, other people would have bought those players, not him. But listen, I think Graham Potter will be fine. I think he'll go. I still put him down to go maybe to be the next Palace manager, but will he because of his Brighton links? I don't know. We'll see. Ibanez to Tottenham. Yeah, but again, another one that I feel from what I've been told, from what I've seen, he's a bit rash. Is he the right man for the job? I don't know. I think we need a proper leader at centre-back. Ibanez is good to come in, but I think we need a proper leader. A leader at the back, a Ledley King at the back. Someone like that. I think we need that sort of esque player that can just take control. Big up. The power-hungry mod is here. Morning, everyone. A stick of wood is better than Dyer and Sanchez combined. Yeah, you could call it MDF is probably better. Yeah. Surely a jellyfish means spineless. Yeah, that was my thought process as well. But RB, I feel like I'm getting past the I'm with the kids moment. Big up Dragon these nuts. Yeah, exactly. I thought jellyfish was being spineless. Exactly. I don't know with what's going on with the sayings these days. Nuno was great till he tried to play Kane against his philosophy. Ange loves pressing and high tempo, but will will we being forced to play Kane, who can't run against his philosophy, might cause the same story. This is a great point, PC, Matt. I hope you're well, mate. Welcome. I haven't seen you in before, but if you have, mate, I'm sorry, but welcome, by the way. Great point. Great point. This is where I've had this point about Harry Kane. And I always have to caveat with Harry Kane how much I love him as a player. How much I loved Harry Kane. Love Harry Kane, not loved, still do. Amazing football player. Greatest I've seen in a Spurs shirt since I've watched football. So this is it. Should we now be working towards pushing to change our philosophy? I don't think it's fair for Harry Kane to change the way that he plays for Tottenham now. He's gone, why should I? I scored 30 goals last season. Why should I play a different setup? Give me the ball and I'll score. And maybe we need to have to look past that. But it's a great point. Absolutely great point. I've been saying it for a few weeks now. Spurs are now in a very good position to land James Maddison. The player wants to move to London. If it is the case, get it done. Same with Harvey Barnes. If that's the case, let's get those done. I want these players in before we start pre-season for me. I think we have to get it done before pre-season, so they're starting. Big up, Joe, mate. Thoughts on Conor Gallagher links from us? It's a weird one. Joe, and this is a great one. I'd love to get your thoughts on it, by the way. And if you want, you're welcome to come onto the show. You're a good mate of mine. I can send you the link if you wanted to come on. And if we're up to 24 likes. If we get 50 likes, I'll put the link in the chat and then anyone can come on. But Joe, yeah, you're welcome. But I would love to know your thoughts on Conor Gallagher. I think he's a hard worker, just doesn't have a bit of quality maybe in certain areas. But for us at the moment, we're crying out for hard workers. We need someone that can work hard on the ball. I have a feeling Conor Gallagher could be a good signing, but the price tag for me is a massive. I think he's way overpriced for what he is. Are you gutted you haven't got Ndicka? Yeah, I mean, but I'll be honest, I didn't think he was ever going to come, if I'm perfectly honest. I genuinely didn't see him come in because I just didn't think we were good enough. That's my opinion. I think he's got a Roma, a fair play to him. Big up West Sydney Flamingo. Ibanez, Guehi or Nelson? So that is Roger Ibanez, Mark Guehi or Victor Nelson. And I'm assuming you mean I have to pick one because I would like probably two, maybe three. I might even have all of them. I like the look of Mark Guehi. I think he's great. I think he would add something. I just don't know if he's the leader just yet. I think he can be, by the way, in the future, but I don't think he's there. Same with Ibanez. I think he's a bit rash. Very similar, in my opinion, from what I've been told, to what Romero's like. Victor Nelson's a weird one. I haven't seen enough of him. Don't know enough. So before people think that I'm just sort of on the fly. But from what I've read some stuff into him. And I've read a bit on like transfer market and about what he does, where his role is, and all that lot. Good price, good player, young. I think if I'm going to be greedy, I'm going to take two. I would take Guehi and Nelson there. That's my opinion. I think all three we could easily try and get a hold of all three if we can get three out. Agreed. Is that why still going in for Longley? His experiences in his starting 11 backup. I think so. Not that I'm happy. I said this on stream with Benjamin Kaufman, the absolute power-hungry moderator, that about the Longley deal, is that I'm a bit worried that if we had him already, I would have gone keep a hold of him for another year and then maybe try and get him. But bringing him in now means we're going to have another player on about 60, 70 grand a week that we can't get rid of. That, for me, is the problem. And he want a 3-year deal and all that lot. Just before I carry on, guys, someone unsubscribed to me. Which one of you unsubscribed? We're now at 785. We're 15 subscribers, guys, away from 800 subs. So if you haven't, please can you subscribe? It means the world. And obviously, guys, we're up to 28 likes, 22 more likes, and I'll put the link in and anyone can come on. But you have to have your camera on. That's the rules. Why don't you go for Conor Cody for short term? Bang on, Juicy, mate. Juicy, I've said this when Everton didn't want to renew his sign him on a permanent for 4.5 mil. I said, go and get him. Short term, year, maybe 2 years. Have him in on a 2-year contract. Leader at the back. It's the sort of player we need. Thoughts on Alex Scott? Peachy. Darren, it's Perchy. Just to correct you, everyone calls me Peachy, and I think it's auto-correct on if you're using it on your phone. Alex Scott would love him at Spurs. Exactly the player that we should be going for. The player that we should be getting right now. Go and get Alex Scott from Bristol City. Would love him at Spurs, 100%. Ibanez is not as rash as people think. Only been sent off twice in his career, apparently. Yeah, no, I've just been seeing like necessarily not rash. When I say rash, I mean more like he's a bit. I don't know. I haven't seen enough. So if that's the case, I don't mind. I just want a leader. We need a leader at centre back. Is he that leader? I don't know. That's the question. Kane is elite. You need to play to his strengths. Doesn't matter. Yeah, but Minerals. The problem here is this is the point of it. I agree. In all honesty, I agree with your statement. You're right, because Harry Kane can go and win you stuff. But the problem is here. The biggest issue is we're now in a stage of a rebuild. We're not going to have Harry Kane for much longer. This is my thoughts to guys. We're not going to have Harry Kane for much longer. Are we at a stage where is it better to start with the new style? Because in essence, if we have to build, Ange Postecoglou has a set way of playing, high pressing, high energy from the front. Kane's not going to do that. He's not going to be the one that drops in on the final third and allow the wingers to score, because he'll go and try and get goals himself. He will go and get his goals. So we're going to have to change the way we play for Harry Kane. And then when he leaves in 12 months' time on a free, we then have to change the way we play again. For me, should be a restart, and we should start again and go, this is how we're going to play. This is the system we're playing from minute one. If we start changing it for players, let's use your example. Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. He could have easily changed the way he went to suit Aguero. He didn't do that. He said to Aguero, no, you're going to play my way, and I'm going to make you play my way, and you'll believe in what I do. I'm not putting them into polar opposites in Guardiola and Postecoglou, but my point is are we then to tell a manager to change the way he plays for one player, however great he is? I don't know. I mean, I can understand it from both points. My issue is that if Kane stays, he'll carry us even under Postecoglou, and we need legs. Kane can't press. Exactly. This is the point. Kane is at an age now where he won't press. He won't be able to press all year round. For me, why can't we go and get a system to build under this manager? Square pegs, round holes. And listen, however good Harry Kane is, there will be suitors for him. I do think he'll stay, but I think we have to find a way to adapt. He has to adapt to the way we're going to play now. I think he will, by the way, because Harry Kane is that good. He can play in any system. He's that good. Big up to Jaminho. Hope you were well, my friend. Hope you're well. Big up Mark Hudson. Harry Kane greatest. Hoddle for me. Yeah, Mark, for me, you're a lot older than me, no disrespect. Obviously, for me, I didn't get to see Hoddle play. But I'm talking about it from the perspective of players that I've seen play at Tottenham. That's all. Big up Ron Vignac. Hope you're well. Our forward players shouldn't be defending, especially Son. He should be up the field. Always, he's got pace and he's finishing his world class. He shouldn't always be on the half line. I do agree with you, but the thing is with Heung-min Son, he's got to pick it up on himself. I think a lot of this season, and if that injury was part of the problem, we've got to ask questions on him. He's got to ask questions why he's making himself play, and the manager Conte's got to ask questions why he's playing him, and the staff have got to ask questions why they're making a player who supposedly was injured, had this injury for 9 months and didn't get out. Crazy. Let's see. We don't know. I think Son's quality. I think this season's been a massive disappointment, and anyone who says it hasn't been needs to reevaluate what they judge him on, because for me, I judge him at such a high standard, so I expect more from him personally. But yeah, no, I agree. I think we've got to find a new way in the way we play. Big up Minerals. Gallagher is dreadful. Chelsea fans don't rate him. Yeah, but when you say dreadful, these are these sweeping statements, Minerals, that you throw out. Dreadful. What makes Conor Gallagher dreadful? Yeah, he's not good compared to the likes of Enzo Fernandez. I don't think anyone in this chat will argue with that question. Okay, if my water goes everywhere, by the way, I'm sorry. Like that. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, my water just exploded. I decided to freeze some bottles of water here because it is so warm and humid at the moment that just normal cold water just doesn't seem to do it. I need to freeze it. But when you open the bottle, it just exploded all over me. Now I'm soaked. Classy. Sorry, apologies. Minerals. I'm going way off topic. Is Conor Gallagher dreadful? People in the chat, let me know. Do people genuinely think Conor Gallagher is dreadful? Because I don't think he is. I think he's an okay player. Darren, I've already answered it, mate. I think he's an amazing football player. Amazing. I think we need to get him in. He runs a lot and has an excellent work rate, but no real star quality about him. He's a Cobham lad, but just hasn't got the quality for a top club. Palace was his level. Yeah, but I think do you know what? I absolutely wholeheartedly agree with this. His work rate is though what we need at Tottenham. Yes, he doesn't have a lot of quality, maybe, but I do think we need quality. I think we need more high energy at the moment. But as I said, for 50 million quid, I wouldn't. If it was half that and it was a 25 million pound player, why not? But I do agree with the sentiment there. Gallagher, a good player, did it at Palace, get selected for England squad last season. Everyone at Chelsea looked poor because they changed lineup systems every game. He can play fit and ball system. Agreed. I think he would fit the system we play. And I think he would be the right fit, but not for 50 million quid is what the price tag is. Gray's overrated, not worth the money. Opinions, isn't it? Great. I think I like him. But again, it's one of those. It's not worth more than 50 million quid. He's probably a 40 million pound player, in my opinion. Obviously, is it? Yeah, I mean, Ben, I don't even have to read it. I mean, we know your opinions on Clermont Longley. Gallagher is all right, but he wouldn't improve Spurs massively. You'll finish 8th again if he's one of your marquee signings. For me, I don't want him to be a marquee signing. I don't really want marquee signings, Jamie Neo. This phrase marquee signing tells me we're going to go and get an amazing player. Never really happens. I just want to go and get. I just want to get quality in abundance in what we get. But yeah, I get your point. Big up, Evan. Longley's in the woods. Of course, everyone is in the woods. Opinions on Nathan Collins. Would you take him? Like him? It's a weird one. I haven't seen loads of him play, but yeah, I don't think he's that bad, but probably no. I'm going to say no, but I don't. If he's a leader, then why not? But we need leaders. I forget some of my other accounts. That make it, Kaufman, man, I love you. Much love. We're up to 787 subscribers, so 13 away. And whoever there's one person unsubscribed, hang your head in shame, but fair play to yourself. Problem is, Gray's price is not worth 56. Exact, bang on. He's not 60 million quid, is he? Big up, Jamie. He is average Gallagher, lol. And yeah, he's okay. He's not great. Longley is far in the mud. It's uncanny. Oh, no, you're saying in the mud, Kaufman. Yeah, exactly. 25 to 30 million pound. I'd probably take a Gallagher. I don't think he's amazing, but yeah, I would take him for that sort of price. You need Prem proven, not kindergarten FC model. You'll be relegated like Norwich. Oh, God, minerals. The hyperbolics in all that is mad. But yeah, okay. I don't think we're going to get relegated. Isn't Conor Gallagher Prem proven? He's played in the Premier League for 2 clubs. Come on. Get Alex Scott in. Last player we got in from Bristol, from a Bristol club wasn't too bad, apparently. Cousins, I would take Alex Scott all day long. I think we should sell Kane for 100 mil and then use the money to build a good team of back off if he's off the back of it. If he's a great player, but you need to buy players that fit the system and not buy names. This. None of this buying names. Let's buy a player that fits the system. I can't keep reiterating about the system is more important than the player. Big up. Good morning, Cole, mate. I hope you're well. And everyone in the chat. Yes, of course, everyone in the chat. Come on. Let's get the likes up. We're 17 likes away, and I'll put the link in the chat. Get the likes to 50, and I'll put the chat link in there, and you can all join. Whoever wants to. Pressing don't win games. Ask that about the likes of Man City. They do it all the time. Liverpool won a trophy by doing it. Liverpool won a trophy by pressing all season and winning games. I do. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kaufman, put your link in. You probably already have. Yeah. You always will. Smash the likes. Yes, exactly. 16 more, guys, and I'll put the link in the chat. Yeah, go and subscribe to the coffee company if you haven't. This man should be on about 500, 600 subs. He's only on just over 300. Hang yourselves in shame for not subscribing to the greatest mod and coffee barista there is in the world. Was that a massive... Oh, that's horrible. Sorry. I just show you the bite marks I'm getting from mosquitoes. Big up Jaminho. Keep landing the minerals. Yep. Always land the minerals. Do that. Thanks, mate. Yep. Keep doing it for yourself. Laporte, Guehi, Ward-Prowse, Madison, Barnes. Please get your signings. I hate to break it to you, we're not getting Laporte. I don't think we're going to get Guehi. I don't think the price is probably good enough for value. I believe Ward-Prowse might go. I think Ward-Prowse will go to West Ham and replace Declan Rice. Madison, Barnes, I see happening though. I think we're going to get Madison and Barnes. I'm actually getting excited about it, and I don't know what I watch him go to Newcastle. Sonny should never have played with a hernia. It sounds like what we did with Trippier. Ben, exactly. And someone's going to have to take the blame for it. If it's the manager for playing him, if it's the medical staff, which it probably is, and if it's the player. If the player's the one making it less of a problem, someone needs to stop the player from that. That's my opinion. Chelsea fans don't rate anyone, to be fair. Nah, I don't think that's fair. I think they rated the likes of Didier Drogba very well. Just saying, he was a very good player. Tottenham need a player like Hakim Ziyech. Do we? I really don't know if that's the right player for us, but yeah, that's the thing, Kaufman. That's what every time I watch the likes of Conor Gallagher, I look and go, he's not the sort of player that has the star ability. He's not a star player, but for me, I think he could be a really good squad player for us and can fit our system right. But for me, as I've repeated on here, price tag. Price tag is key. And that for me is such a key one. It's the right price, is the right place. We've been linked with Gravenberch this morning. Now Carl Simpson. If we can get the likes of Ryan Gravenberch maybe on a loan deal, I would love that. That lad is quality. From what I've seen of him, he just hasn't really worked at Bayern Munich, but I think this lad is a very, very good player. Very good player. Conor Gallagher is your Ray Parlour type. Yeah, I can see what you're sort of saying. Not Ray Parlour wasn't one of those flashy sort of players, but he just did a good job, didn't he? I agree. I think Conor Gallagher. I'm warming to Conor Gallagher. But as I said, not at 50 million. Half that for me, always. Kulu doesn't fit the new system coming in. Will be a bench player. Need a number 6. Madison, good and a good. I'm assuming and a good 8. The Kulusevski ones. So here's my thoughts on Dejan Kulusevski, because I do love when people. I'm going to drink some water. Look at it's frozen to proper frozen. My throat's really dry this morning. Sorry. So the Kulu one's a great question. The Kulu situation is a really, really questionable one. I understand why we've done it, but my concern is, have we done it because it's a good deal and not because actually he fits our system? We need to go and find a place for him. That's my worry. But I agree. If he's a bench player, I don't mind. It's not a bad bench player. We do need a number 6. We're crying out for a proper DM. Madison and a good 8. That'd be a great window. We need a centre-back, though. You missed a centre-back. Perchi, a Kane option could be for him to sign a 1-year extension with something like 55 million buyout clause. That way you'll get him for his goals next season and see a good chunk of it change the end of the season. Do you know what? That's not a bad shout. If that isn't a bad shout in the sense of if Kane says, look, I want to leave, but we say, well, do you know what? Why don't you sign a new contract that will give you a 1-year extension? Then we will let that mean that we will get money back from him. That's not a bad compromise. Will it happen? I'm not sure. He might just I want to go. Gallagher is Højbjerg with more energy. He runs like a headless chicken. His IQ is poor. I mean, Højbjerg can't move. Like, he literally can't move. So that concerns me. Laporte's not coming here, lads. Time to let it go. Yeah, I mean, come on. If you think Aymeric Laporte is coming to Tottenham, come on. Calm down, guys. Come on, it ain't happening. Maddison and Barnes will be great signings for you. Don't know why we ain't going for them, to be honest, considering Mount, Havertz, Pulisic are going. Yeah, Joe. No, I think James Maddison and Harvey Barnes, if that happens, will be a great deal. From what I'm hearing, 60 to 70 million pounds for the pair. Good money for two good players, in my opinion. No, I agree. Ziyech can improve us massively. I don't know. For every time I see Ziyech, I'm never excited. Nothing with Ziyech really excites me. So, yeah, no. Just Fabrizio Romano tweeting about Fede Valverde saying no to Chelsea. Morning, Perchy. Do you think Ange won't Kulu? I mean, want Kulu, I'm assuming that is. Or is he another club signing? Well, Dan, everyone's a club signing. It doesn't matter. Every player's a club signing. So I'm assuming that there must have been conversations with the manager to say, look, yeah, I can find a place for him. We're going to sign him. And the club probably wanted to push the signing because it was a good deal. So it's probably a bit of both, in my opinion. But listen, everyone's a club signing, in my opinion. All this is a player signing and all that. We still got Ivan Perisic here. And he wasn't a club signing, was he? He was a Conte signing. And we've got to deal with the aftermath of getting rid of him. So, yeah. Listen, I'm one of those, unless we've got a position for Kulu and he can actually do something, I just think he needs, I think the hype around this man, we need to find a level for him. No one's going to buy Kane for 100 mil. His 30 goals doesn't have the longevity, regardless whatever hype the media tells. Real Madrid themselves said 100 million is too much for a 30-year-old. Yeah, but this is I do get you. I do get the point. I think at the moment maybe we priced ourselves out with Kane going, but let's see. Big up Joe White. Minerals Mount. Oh, yep. Up the Joe White. We love Joe White. If we sign Ziyech, I would be happy. He can play attacking midfielder and also crying for creativity. You're really on the. You're really going for Hakim Ziyech. Fair play. Before Ben does, subscribe to Ben's channel. Subscribe. Go and subscribe. Ben Kaufman's the man. Yeah, Sonny needs competition from Barnes. I totally agree. And I think that is such an important one at the moment. Massively important, in my opinion. Yeah, he needs to. Barnes would be good, would give that competition. Yeah, everyone's agreeing on that. Big up Hasper. Hope you're well, mate. I think Gallagher could work as a box-to-box midfielder. Has he been playing too forward for Chelsea? Potentially. Guys, 8 more likes on the channel. If we get 8 more likes, I'll put the link in there. You must have your camera if you want to come on. Also, 13 more subs away from 800. Please, if you're in the chat and you haven't subscribed, please do so. That'd be amazing. Kule's been shocking last season. Maybe Juve got rid of him for a reason, potentially, but you could argue the way we played wasn't great anyway. But yeah, no, he was poor. Sonny, yeah. I mean, you've said it 3 times. It's true. Yeah, Sonny easy. Perchy chat. Oh, we've got a guest on it. I believe he's going to make his debut. Perchy chat Spurs and rest of mixed pack. Oh, yeah, big up. I'm not sure. Big up to you, mate. We've got a little guest on, by the way. Mum, mate, Ashmatic's here. How are you doing, mate?
Oh, good, man. Why am I looking so... Hold on.
Thank you. It's literally...
Hold on.
Mine was blurry as well. So it must be me. It must be something in my settings that I've somehow done.
Can't quite see what's going on. I don't know.
Am I blurry now, guys? No, I feel like I'm not blurry anymore. The whole blurry stuff's completely thrown me. But how are you doing, mate? I think it's better now. I think it's a little bit better. How are you doing, mate? Welcome.
Yeah, bro, I'm good. I'm well. Thanks.
Welcome, mate.
Having me on. Thanks for having me on.
Mate, you're always welcome, mate. I'll put it in there. You're always welcome. First time on the show, so welcome to it. We just chat about absolute stuff, and everyone in the chat dictates on what we talk about. And at the moment, we're talking about Conor Gallagher. So I want your take. Would you take a Conor Gallagher at Tottenham for the right price?
Yeah, the right price. It depends. Like that kind of midfielder, because at Palace he was amazing, wasn't he? Got 8 goals. Yeah,
he did well at Palace. I thought he was really good at Palace.
But obviously Eze wasn't there when he was playing in that position. Well, they weren't playing in the same team anyway, but he was playing more of the offensive role, and it showed. When he went to Chelsea, he's had half the minutes that he's had at Palace. and had two different
Agreed.
managers. So you're not really seeing his full potential. And Chelsea had a poor season, so everyone underperformed, a bit like us. There was no players that kind of really stood out apart from Kane. I'm a fan of Gallagher at Palace, but I'm not a fan of Gallagher at Chelsea. I'm going to be like a typical fan.
But
it depends what Conor Gallagher we get.
Well, here's the question. The one thing that we're crying out for is a bit of work rate in midfield.
No, he's definitely got that.
And for me, that's a player that has got it. For me, but it's the right price for me.
Yeah, 100%. I agree, Perch. He's like a guy where he's better than what we have, I feel, in terms of like what he can contribute. He's got a tackle on him. He can tackle, he can win balls back, high up the field, energy, mobility, a lot of legs, a lot of passion. You can see that he always wants the ball, he's not shy. Gets nearer to the goal as well. So he has a bit of attacking intent. But yeah, I was looking at him compared to like an Eze. Eze, baller. Eze's a baller. There's no doubt about it. Honestly, no doubt about it. Flair player, skillful, always on the ball, touches a lot of the ball. But yeah, man, in comparison to him, he's not that kind of guy. He's not as dribble past players the same way Eze floats around the ground. But in terms of tackling, a lot more robust than Eze, a lot more. So that's why I think maybe he might play we've got two centre midfielder roles. One's a bit more attacking, one's more like kind of joins the attack and defence. I think Connor could suit the other role, if that makes sense.
Agreed.
If I'm looking at both of their profiles. But yeah, Eze all day long, like, because he's just that kind of guy you want in your team. You kind of, but yeah, Gallagher, it's a hard question. I'm not like at the right price point. Yes,
that's what I said. The £50 million price tag, I'm going, no chance. He's not a £50 million player. But for me, I said, if it was half that and it was a £25 million player, I go, you'd ask the question for £25 million. You know what I mean? You go, is that of good value? It's probably just about his price tag, to be fair.
It depends as well on the coach. If there's a good coach around him, you can get the best out of him. You can improve his player.
Do you think Postecoglou could do that?
This is what I'm yet to see it. So I still have my reservations. I'm hoping he can. I'm hoping he's the type of coach that can just get the youth player and improve them. I mean, everywhere he's been at, he's done it. Do you know what I mean? Yep. But it's yet to see if he can do it in the Premier League. But at national level, at club level, he's improved players. That was his job at Australia, where they were going to sack him, or they did sack him. And was getting, he had a big bust up live on air when it was like a slim Ange, not the Ange that we know. Diet Ange. We had Diet Ange. He was arguing with the Australian team because obviously they didn't get through to a particular tournament, and they were criticizing him. But his job was to like develop the youth. He didn't know that was his job to get them to through to a tournament. And then he's like, guys, you need to do your research, man. You need to do your research. Poor Australian accent, by the way. But yeah,
it was all right. It was better. I wouldn't even attempt it.
But yeah, basically, like he thought that was his job, just to develop the youth, and then that was it. But they thought his job was to kind of qualify them into the tournament. They got rid of him, and then they rehired him as a national coach. And then when it was his job to get into the tournament, that's what he did. And he brought through youth, and he developed them. And then when he was in Japan in the J League, that's what he did. He developed them. And so also at Celtic, he got players unknown, got them and developed them. Even the player, Scott O'Reilly from MK Dons in the League One, he got him, developed him. So he's got a track record of developing players. So I wouldn't be shocked if he did get someone like Conor Gallagher and brought him back to that level that he got at Palace and brought him to that level. Obviously, I was looking at Conor Gallagher's previous stints, and he played at West Brom as well as Swansea. And he's definitely got goals and assists in him. But at Palace, you saw his best level under Vieira, and you probably saw Vieira get the best out of him in that system. But a bit harsh on Vieira as well. Side note, how he got sacked, because obviously he faced a whole heap of hard teams. We knew it was coming, and the easy run was coming, and then that's what Hodgson got, and then Hodgson's getting all the praise when it was a bit harsh on Vieira, but.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate. I just want to say one more like, guys. Can you get to the 50 mark, and I'll throw the link in, and you can come and join me in Ashmatic up here on stage.
Do you think Conor Gallagher is better than Harvey Barnes, or do you think Harvey Barnes is a better player? I know they're two different players.
Player though, isn't it?
They're two different players. Who would you prefer then? Who would you prefer? If Conor Gallagher was available?
One of the two.
Yeah.
Harvey Barnes, because I think you get a better price for him. I think they're very similar, but you get a better price for Harvey Barnes.
Conor Gallagher's what, 23, was he?
Yeah.
And
Harvey Barnes is only 25.
26.
No, 20. No, Barnes is 25.
He's 25. Okay.
26 is James Madison's 26.
Yeah, that was it. So yeah. Right.
So at 50, we got 50 likes. I'm just gonna say, I'll put the link in the chat, guys, if you want to come and join. I'm gonna try and keep it rotation. I'm gonna go for another hour and a bit as well. So we're gonna go for 2 hours. Yes, you get me for double. Don't all laugh. Don't get all too excited in the chat in one go. Also, we're still 13. Come on, we haven't got any more subs. Come on, we're pushing the 800 today. We want to try and get to 800. I'll put the link in, guys. But obviously, I'm going to try and rotate it. I don't want to have loads of people up in one go because it just becomes absolutely manic. So if you are sat in the back room for a little bit, it's because I'm just going to slowly rotate people through. So because otherwise it just becomes chaos. People just sit there for ages and not able to speak. It's not fair for everyone. So I'll put it in there, guys. You're welcome to come and join in. Make sure you got your camera on is the first point. And obviously, and if you have to be involved, get involved in these because otherwise it's very hard. Some people come in and then they don't say anything and you're like, okay. But anyway, mate, another one is who's, my mate's come in. My mate. How you doing, mate? How you doing?
Yeah, not bad.
Good. Whilst you're here, mate, let's talk about Conor Gallagher. What are your thoughts on Conor Gallagher?
I've already put it in the chat. I'm El Tel Cockerel.
Oh yes, my guy.
Yeah.
My guy.
I like Gallagher, as Ashmatic said earlier, and I put it in the chat. At Palace, he was a really good player.
Yeah.
He gets selected for England squads. But playing for Chelsea last season, nobody looked good at Chelsea because they kept switching the lineups and formations week in, week out. But I think that he could do a really good job. I do agree with you as well with the price. It has to be the price point as well. Agreed.
That for me is such an important one because I think Gallagher can offer something if he came to Tottenham, but not at £50 million. Do I want us to go and buy a player I don't think that's anywhere near good value if we pay £50 million. As I said, if it's half that, I'll go, you've got me thinking now. £25 million to get in a Premier League proven player, that's not too bad. He's young as well, he's only 23, so you've got a young player there. But as I said, it has to be the right price.
Chelsea have got to get rid and trim their squad.
Agreed.
So they've got to get rid of a lot of players. So the longer it goes on that players have not been got out of the club, there may be deals to happen further down the line.
Yeah. No, exactly. Big up also Minerals, mate. Welcome. Go on. Tell me your thoughts on Conor Gallagher.
He's frozen.
Wind him up. Sorry, let me wind him up if it'll work. I think he's gone.
Right, log on and log off. Log on and log back on.
Yeah, I'll bring you out, Minerals, and then come out and come back in, mate.
I think there's better players. I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I think there are better players that we can find, but they're just not out. They're not like out there, as in like they're not in the Premier League. But everyone's talking about Alex Scott. I think he's a player that needs to be developed. Minerals are back.
Minerals, are you there, mate? Oh wait, he's come in twice. I've got him twice. I don't know what's going on. I've got 2 Minerals here. I don't know what's going on. Okay, you're back. I think you're back. Okay, no, you're not back. What's going on? This show's gone to chaos.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it, mate.
Right. At the moment, so I'll come to the question in a second. At the moment, we're being linked with all and sundry. We've all, as a fan base, we've got players that we'd like to bring in and players that we like. Realistically, we've got 11 loanees coming back.
Yeah,
we've got some players that are going to be leaving the club on that have been released already. We've got an overbloated squad. We've got to get rid of players. All these players that we're being linked with cost money. So therefore, my question is, how much money do we have in the kitty pre-sales?
Well, let's do a bit of tally work here because realistically, £25 million we're going to be spending on Kulusevski. That looks like it's done. How much was Pedro Porro? That's going to have to be done to this window. Does anyone remember the fee? Was it 40 odd million?
Well, you got to remember also.
We're talking 65 already there. That's 65 that's going to be spent in this window. I mean,
I would have thought. I would have thought. Sorry, I would have thought that the club would have catered for that already and knew that they had to spend that money. But I'm talking about what have we got beyond that? What do we now start off with? What's our baseline?
Obviously, I talk very basic when I'm talking about it, because obviously the way transfers work in this day and age, it's not when we sign a player for 50 million quid, we're not paying 50 million quid in this window. Normally it's staggered over three windows or 3 years. It's normally how it works. A lot of it's all bonuses and all that lot and add-ons and all that crap. So I'm talking very loosely and simplistic for a reason. So the likes of Porro is going to have to be paid for. Kulusevski is being paid for.
Also, Bertie, you just have to remember, sorry to cut you as well.
That's fine.
Last season, we had 150 million war chest to play with, and we spent just over 100 million of that. So I think floating around from that was around 40, I'd say 40 million, give or take. And as you said, because the fees being spread over, there's a potential that some of that Porro money and some of that Kulu money will be spent onto that, if that makes sense. So I'm going to kind of wipe those players off of this transfer window, because we did have 150 million war chest to spend on players. So I think I will include those players on last season rather than this season, if I'm making sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. As I said, I'm not one of these that talks of transfer market and transfer budgets as simplistic as a lot of people go. Oh well, we've got 100 mil. We're buying 250 million. For me, transfer fees are very irrelevant because a lot of it's all staggered, and the fixing and the price fixation of the pricing doesn't necessarily is not a real thing in that sort of environment. But what I would say though, the point I would make on this though is, I just think at the moment we need to get rid of players. I think getting rid of the players on high wages that we don't want anymore is going to be so important. The likes of Perisic, let's put it frankly. If we got rid of Ndombele, ripped up Ndombele's contract and Perisic's and said goodbye, mutually terminated, we're saving 400 grand a week.
How much would you have to pay out their contract for? How much is their contract?
Well, I think it would have to be done. You'd have to mutually make an agreement on it.
Because I know Ndombele wants to stay. Perisic doesn't, but Ndombele wants to.
Perisic, we can all get done mutually. It'll be
that could be a mutual, but Ndombele would be a different situation, because whether he wants to go is a big talking point with the manager. The manager wants to have a look at him as well. So that's one where I'm not too sure we could potentially rip up, if that makes sense. It'd be different if he was like, I want out. Do you know what I mean? I want to get out of this club. Even down to Lo Celso. Lo Celso's all changed his name, changed tune now as well. And I reckon it's because of the attacking football, the style of play. All of a sudden, players are like, well, I'm in a different position. Money too. Money's got to come into it.
We're paying these lads. I think if I'm right in saying Lo Celso's on north of 130k a week. I know the likes of Ndombele are on 200 grand a week. What incentive do they have to go elsewhere? Because no one's going to be paying them even half that.
Exactly, that too as well. So it's not as easy as ripping up contracts.
I agree. We have to make a business decision.
Want to go. Do you know what I mean? Some of the players that are like Sessegnon might be easier to get off the books, because we could terminate a contract like that where it doesn't cost as much in comparison to Ndombele or Lo Celso. And it's in that position as well, that left-hand side, we've got Reguilon coming back, and we've got Ndogi, whatever, come in there as well. So that position is well stocked. So there's no place for him to come into, with Perisic being there as well. So 2 players have got to go. So I think you can get rid of Sessegnon. That would be a bit more realistic. You can terminate his contract. But there's certain positions where, like Eric Dyer, you've got Sanchez. Sanchez wants to leave, so definitely he can terminate his contract. Or we could possibly get money for him, because apparently this club, Sanchez, Davinson Sanchez.
You wouldn't get much money out of 10 mil, trust me. If 10 million quid was on the cards, I'd take it.
Yeah, but apparently clubs are in for him. So yeah, 10 mil, I would take it. Yeah, I know, right? Really? I can't believe it myself. But
Ash,
yeah. Yo, Minerals, what
Yo,
on?
Ash,
Go on.
Big up Dan,
yeah,
by the
man,
way.
I'm good. Like Abdominals, yeah, Abdominals, see, yeah. Let's have it right, yeah. Like Perisic and says they all need to go. They're part of the deadwood, and like you can it says you can get like a little 10 when you sell them to like Sheffield United and them teams there in relegation. You
Fulham.
can't just or even Fulham. I mean, Fulham finished above you though. To be fair,
No, they didn't.
what did they?
Fulham finished below us, mate.
Oh,
Come on, Minerals.
my
If you're
bad.
gonna give them Minerals, have them.
No, I'm not. I wasn't actually slandering Spurs. I
I'm
thought,
just playing with you. I love playing with you. I love
you can't man me, bro. You can't mad the Minerals FC, bro. Let's have it right, rude
Oh,
boy.
trust me.
You know what
I have a big fat button here that can mud the Minerals. Trust me.
Yeah, go on, Minerals. Go on.
Nah, I'm playing with you. I'm playing with you, mate.
I was also saying like Eric Dyer, like you don't extend him so that you at least
We're not. I don't think we are. We're not extending Eric Dyer's contract. It's very public knowledge that we're not going to do that.
Yeah, how long does he have on his deal though?
I believe he's got 1 year left on his contract.
So yeah, man, he can piss off in it. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest. I don't think we're going to get rid of Eric Dyer in this transfer window. I think we'll keep a hold of him until his contract's over. If I'm honest, I think.
Why can't you? You can sell him though. You can sell him to like mid-table clubs like Bournemouth, maybe.
Who's going to buy an Eric Dyer at the moment on 90 grand a week? At the moment, he's one of the worst defenders in the Premier League.
Well, maybe Luton might buy him.
Luton?
You know what I mean?
Have you seen their defenders? Trust me, they wouldn't have an Eric Dyer in their team. They actually can defend. Trust. But this is the thing.
What about some Portuguese teams though? Like outside, like Portuguese teams?
Maybe. But we're not hearing those links, and that's the thing for me. The likes of Eric Dyer, I think this is where I always say to fans at the moment, because at the moment, I don't think we're going to be ripping up his contract. Honestly, don't see it happening because right now we need a lot more in a sense. So unless we pay his contract, but because he's been playing all last season, I don't see him going anywhere. I hope, touch wood, that he doesn't start many games, but I think he'll stay because we can't just rip up 15 contracts. It's not plausible and it's not logical. So he will be one that will stay, I think. That's my honest opinion.
You're spot on, and like that's why you guys should have got like someone to replace him like ages ago. You should have sold him when he was in his so-called peak on the
I've said that. You know I said that, but that's the past. I'm trying to look forward at the moment because I've said this all along. I said when we had the offer from Man United for £60 million was offered years ago. It was massively public knowledge, and we didn't accept it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, you've got to be crazy to not accept that offer. I mean, but
yeah. People wouldn't know that would have declined that bad, would they? You know what I mean?
What's that? Sorry?
Would you have declined that bad at the time? At the time, people were rating him, though. You know what I mean?
Well, no, because he played well in the system. Because he played as a number 6 in a defensive midfield role, not really centre back. That's the thing. But listen, I wasn't trying to. I wanted to just sort of. There's a few things I've started, so I just wanted to sort of go through those quickly. First of all, before we do anything, Wolves Finland's right. Rapidly closing on the 1K subs, guys. So we are 222 away as of now. Oh no, 221. Someone has just subscribed. So if you're in the chat, let me know that you've just subscribed. Much love to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
We're trying to push the.
Man.
1 second, Minerals. Let me just. Minerals. Hold. Just let me. I've got a push at the moment. We're pushing so hard to try and get it. I'm trying to work as hard as I can. Daily content, daily videos, daily streams and stuff. I just want to say, and we're 61 likes. Can we get over the 100 mark again? We did it earlier on in the week. Please, if we can get over 100 likes, that would be amazing. Just pushes the algorithm and it helps me massively. And also other content creators as well. Same with Ashmatic. Make sure you go and subscribe to his channel. Minerals, when's your channel as well? Waiting for that. And yeah, and Jose. I'm not doing it because
Loading.
you're doing
It's loading the channel. You know what I mean?
And when's your channel coming?
I've had nightmares, mate, trying to set it up. It should have been two or 3 days ago, and it's just been an absolute mare. It's not working. It's not working.
I think you're doing it on purpose to keep the suspense going. That's my opinion.
So what I've done is I've just thought to myself, I'm just going to chill out. I'm going to carry on watching the Tottenham community like I've done for over a year now. Calm back down, and then I'll have another crack at it again. So I'll probably do it over the weekend.
You'll come with an absolute storm. Much love to the people that have just subscribed. I think about 3 of you just subscribed. As I said, we're now 8 away, so much love. Anyway, let's crack back on. I've got some questions. I've got a few questions. So from Ankan Kakaris, when all of our fans were gassing up the likes of Højbjerg, I was telling him how bad this guy was. I said against good teams, he gets spun. Long story short, I was right. Listen, my points. What are people's thoughts on Højbjerg? There's a lot of talks that he's not part of the plan next season. Would you keep him? Would you sell him? For me, I think he's probably the most sellable asset we have at this football club at the moment on players that I want to get out of. I mean, I actually think he's probably one of the only players we can get £30 million for out of the ones we want to get rid of. What people, Dan? Well, also welcome, by the way, Dan. I know you had a bit when you came in. I'll let you go with this one. What are your thoughts on keeping Højbjerg, or would you sell or keep him?
2 things quick. Don't mind me if I'm a bit stuttery. I had a bad night. And glasses.
Don't forget your glasses. It's got to be.
No, I need these. Cut a long story short, I got epilepsy. If I look at the screen too long without it, then it doesn't. The medical ones. Højbjerg. Do you know what? I'm 50-50 with a fella. I like the fact that he gets stuck in. I like the fact that he's willing to work. But really, what comes out of it, he's all good with the screaming and shouting and everything else, but selling for 30 mil, I'll be happy with that. Bayern Munich are meant to be after him. Yeah. But then also, I wouldn't complain on keeping him as well, because I think he could be an all right squad player as such. Mm-hmm. So I'm 50-50. If he goes, he goes. If he stays with me.
Yeah, no, I get your point, but I think for me, I think he's a really, really average player. But that's my opinion. I think if you can get 30 million quid, you can go and get. So my thoughts are, if we had 30 million quid and then we could spend 20, 25 of that on someone like a Gallagher who's got a bit of energy about him. Yeah, may not have as much, may not be technically great and stuff, but he's got a bit of energy. I would like to see that sort of thing if we can offload him. We've also got some more guys. Mark Satoshi says, do you think Ange Postecoglou will make changes to the leadership team once he settles in? And I'm assuming you're meaning the player leadership team that was there last season. Anyone, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that needs to be moved around. Obviously, he's a new coach. He's got new ideas. He's going to see it different. Skip was quite vocal, wasn't he? He actually put himself in the leadership group by being so vocal, calling out players, calling people flappy arms. So it'll be interesting to see. I think the first time, when he comes in, I think he's just gonna observe. I don't think he's gonna do too much changing around. So I think things will change around. But as the season goes on, I think that's when he'll implement changes and he'll move things around. I think lots of players are gonna want to prove themselves to Ange to get into the first 11, because I think now's their chance to kind of prove themselves in this new system. A lot of players are coming back from loan. Some players have been starting 11. They've got points to prove. Everyone had a bad season, to be fair, apart from Kane. I think everyone's got a point to prove, and they're going to be hungry and motivated to improve on the poor finish that we had last season. So I think there will be changes to the leadership, but I don't know if it will happen instantly. I think initially with, what was it? Skip, Kane, Son, Dyer's going to have to come out, because by the looks of it, he's out of favour by the sounds of things. So there will be changes. I think it'll be a fresh slate. So the dynamic will have to change. The dynamic will have to change because some players are out of favour now. Yeah, that's my opinion. I don't know.
I agree. Jose, what are your thoughts? Do you think we just keep or sell? He's had to shoot. Okay, no worries. He was so offended he went. Joking. I'm assuming Wi-Fi or anything. Minerals, I'll let you come back in. As I said, I've just put in the chat, guys. I've pinned the link if you want to come in. I'm going to try and keep it at 4. So obviously when someone comes in the back room, we'll just rotate people, let people have their say and all that lot, because otherwise, if you have loads of people on here, it just becomes absolutely chaotic. It's mad. Big up. I'll let one of you guys. Have you guys discussed Romano's tweet about getting Longley? So Romano, obviously, if for context, just tweeted that Spurs are serious about bringing back Longley, but only at the correct price. And I think Spurs only want to spend around 5 million to 6 million euros for the likes of Clement Longley. Guys, what are your thoughts? Would you take the likes of Longley for that price if it's short term, or would you want someone a bit better?
Me personally, I don't want to go again, but I'll just say quickly, I want someone better. He's good on the ball, but he has let me down quite a lot. I know he's had Ben Davies next to him and Perisic, you can't defend, and they've left him exposed at times, but he was a part of that Newcastle thrashing. He was a part of some of our heaviest defeats. So Longley on the ball, technically, he's good. He can travel with it. He can score headers. He did well in Champions League and etc. When he scored against Marseille, the equaliser. He's had good moments, but I just feel like defensively he can get beat, can get spun 1v1. I'm not a fan defensively. Why bring another average player in? I just don't. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, make it make sense for me. Get a defender that likes defending, even if it's an old school defender and he's not as good playing out from the back. But I just want someone that's a bit more aggressive. He's too like continental, and in the back three he did well in France. Back three. Not Barcelona, and Seville, he did well. But in the Barcelona shirt, he got exposed. The real Longley stood up in the back 4. So why bring him in the back 4 in this system? That's how I see it.
No, great point. Dan, so I just had to mute you. I think it was roughing in the background. Couldn't what are your thoughts, mate, on the likes of Longley? Would you get him in short term for a cheap price, or would you rather like to see much more quality in that sense?
We'd obviously want more quality, but for what we've already got and for a squad, for 5 mil, I think he's actually, you can't really say no to it in that aspect. I mean, he's better than Eric Dyer, which isn't particularly hard.
Some of us are needed for me, to be honest.
And I don't think when it comes to the crunch, like we've said on the others, we're in 8th place. We can't really start looking for world class or very good. I'm not saying get him as a main defender, but I don't think he's a bad idea as a squad player. And for 5 mil, please, someone on here or anyone else, show me a better deal.
There's a player for Fulham that we're linked with. Young kid.
You beat me there to Ashmatic. Tosin Adebayo, I'm assuming you're talking about?
Yeah, he looks better to me. Like, if you're saying a backup, I would prefer him as a backup. He's got legs, he's lengthy, tall.
He's a tall boy, and he's a big
young
lad.
potential. Do you know what I'm saying? And then by like a better defender as a first teamer, as a left-sided centre back. That's my opinion. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
And I respect Dan's opinion as well.
No, listen,
5 million price point.
5 million, I can get it.
I do understand. Yeah, I get it.
Thing as well, he can actually, and he has done it for France, and he did do it for Barcelona. Should worst come to the worst situation, he can cover a left back as well. It's like I say, out of choice. No, I don't want us going for players like that.
Yeah.
But if you think about a squad and you think about the level we're in, if we get him, we've covered 2 places basically. And as 5 million, you're not going to get a better offer for 5 million than that. Sadly, that is our limit at the moment in that aspect for a squad player. That's what I think.
I've got Kai in the background. Minerals, are you there, mate? I was gonna say, are you? What's your thoughts on it? Because I want to just start rotating people. What are your thoughts on the likes of Longley for 5 million? Do just a cheap buy, or do you think that actually could be a not bad value? What's your thoughts?
Nah, no Langley, man. He's in the woods, bro. He's another one. He's part of the problem. You know what I mean? You
But
need
when you say part of the problem, what do you mean by that? Like, you can't, if you say sweeping statements, what do you mean by that?
Jesus shocking defensively. He got spun up all the time. Even at Barca was shit.
Yeah, I don't think he's amazing. But we've got. I agree. I don't think he's amazing. That's what I'm saying. But we're making statements, sweeping statements. My point. What I'm trying to get at is, we have to be a bit. We have to be more reserved. We have to be a bit more reserved and stuff when we're buying players at the moment, because we're not going to go and spend 60 million pound players. It's just not realistic.
No, I'm saying they're Premier League proven defenders at a good price.
Like who?
I wasn't saying.
Give me names.
I mean, like that at the Bio Giza, that Ashmalik said. Tosin, that's Tosin.
Tosin at the Bio? Like him? I like him. Listen, I'm not one of the. I'm not sitting here saying what's right or wrong. By the way, I'm not saying that at all. It's just opinions, isn't it? That's what's the great part about it. Minerals, is it? I was going to say I'm going to pull you out at the moment from there and bring Ty in, because Ty's in the background waiting. I'll bring, if you want to stay there. I'll rotate you, mate. No, I'll rotate people in. Thanks, mate. I'll bring on Ty. Big up, Ty. How you doing, mate? Welcome to the show. As I said, reason why I don't want loads of people on at the same time is it just gets a bit messy. How you doing, mate? Welcome to the show. Welcome here. What are your thoughts on Longley?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Longley.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've always liked him. I get that. Obviously, there was a couple of years where he fell a little bit at Barcelona, but I see Barcelona like Tottenham, not obviously the same. Obviously, they're a way better club, but when it's a toxic place and good players do badly, you see it in United as well. You see like places where there's a vibe around the club that's quite toxic. They bring in good players, they don't do well. I've seen so many players come to the Premier League and play in clubs that aren't in a good place, and then they go elsewhere and then they do well again. How many players have we seen come to Tottenham, do badly, leave, and then go win trophies elsewhere? Longley's just one of those players. If we let him go, it's not going to be like a massive miss. Like he's a world-class player. You know, like I look at someone like Brian Hill. I'm so gassed of him. I'm like, please just tie this guy down and build a future around him. We're Longley.
I like Brian Hill. I think he's
agree.
Player we've got energy. We'll have energy with. The question's got to be though. Here's a question. We'll slyly move it to Brian Hill. It's a great. I like. That's how you do it right. You get the transitions right. Great move. Brian Hill's a good question because I see a lot of people go, get rid of him. He's not been great. He wasn't great at Spurs. I see then another polar opposite go, no, do you know what? I can see something in. I'm kind of slightly in the middle where I sort of go, do you know what? I can see something with this young lad. He's
so young.
He's young. He's got energy. Should fit the Postecoglou system. Ash, is that you tapping away?
No.
I can hear something like
me.
It's like something tapping. Can anyone else
Yeah,
hear
it
that?
sounds like tapping. Yeah, it's not me.
I think it could be my microphone. I'm not sure.
If you mute all of us, you'll find out who it is.
Yeah. Let's just figure that. No, it's still going. Can you still hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it tapping.
Okay. What about now?
Seems to have gone.
No, that went there.
I'm not sure what it is, but anyway, we'll figure that out. I muted everyone and it's still there. Can you hear it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it now. Oh, I don't know what it is.
It might be something to do with the system, mate.
Oh, what is going on? Hang on. Oh, this is mad. Anyway, we'll just have to. I'm just going to play through it. That's the best way. Ignore like it didn't happen. Oh, it's really irritating. Can anyone? It's that people can hear it in the chat. You can hear it. It's like Woody Woodpecker. It's really weird. Hang on, let me. Hello.
Hello.
Ah, there you go. It's Ty. It's Ty.
Yeah. Let me.
It's something. You might have to change your thing. I'm just going to mute you for a second. We found the source of Woody Woodpecker. Ty. It was Ty saying with his mic.
I'm getting nervous. I thought it was me.
It's going to be your mic, mate. Okay. We'll fix that out in a second and hope you can get back in. That'd be great. Mark Cousins leave his Wi-Fi. Who cares if he does good? But see to the fourth. The question about Brian Hill is you got to bear in mind is the style of player he is. I always say touch wood, suit managers. This manager wants high pressing energy. What did Brian Hill provide at Spurs? He offered high pressing energy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we need. Yes, I think he isn't the finished package. He's nowhere near completed. So for me, I think we need to be a bit thoughtful on what will he offer. I think he offers something at Spurs, personally. I'm going to bring back. I don't know if Ty's coming back in. I do want him to come back in because I feel bad. He hasn't had a couple of guys in the background, but I'll bring you guys on if Ty doesn't come back on and he's sorted himself out. If not, I'll bring you guys back in. But that's my thought process on it. Is that I feel really like he could offer something. Let me see if it's all good now.
Can you hear me?
Hello. Speak.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we're good. We're good. I think we've sorted it. We've sorted it.
I think it was my headset. I put on because I was like, let me just chuck on my work headset that I use. But
okay, sweet. Well, welcome again, mate. What are your thoughts on Brian Hill and the sense of what do you think we can offer Tottenham maybe the coming season?
I think he can offer us the future and some trophies. I genuinely love the guy. I watch him play.
We're going to win trophies,
mate. In the long run, obviously, you know, like.
Yeah, I was going to say next season. Yeah.
Nah. Obviously, it's time in it. Football it's a matter of time in it. Mm. But when the player's that young, he's like 20, 21. He's got so much flair about him. He's got so much confidence. You know, it's just this. See what he did for Seville. Like even in the semi-final, the ball he puts in for Lamela, 2 more ex-Spurs players winning trophies. I just feel like. I don't know, like everyone that watches football, like there's a bag of people that play football that watch it, and then there's a bag of people that don't. And there's someone that obviously I've been playing for years. I'm not like a world-class player or anything. I'm just average. I play at an amateur level, but I watch Brian Hill play, and I get gassed with him. I'm like, I just see so much in him. Obviously, he's still young. He's slight. He's got to build up strength, but what 20-year-old don't? Like, I think there's a player there. No, I agree. I think we should just try to build around him. Put up with a few bad performances here and there, and then if he gets to 25, 26 and he hasn't done it, then I'll sit there and say I was wrong. But I'd say it with my chest, I genuinely believe that he can go on to be a world-class player from what I see at a young age.
Ty, do you know what, mate? Well said. I totally agree. The other point I make with that is tell me an out-and-out winger that has actually been built, that has actually got built on him. No. They're not meant to be built for the fight. Then most of them, I mean, even if you go back to Ryan Giggs, he was a bit taller than that, but he was as skinny as. Look at what Steve McManaman was like and all the others. Yeah. Everyone's saying he's too small, this and that. I get it. He gets knocked off the ball and that, but he's got pace. Mm-hmm. He wants to get stuck into the game. He gets knocked off the ball. He goes straight back for it. Even if he don't get it, he still causes hassle and hovers around him. Now, I totally agree with you, mate. That's one of the best things I've heard on here. I can't praise you enough for that one because there's all over here is everyone slating him. And for me, if he would have been in Pochettino's team, he would have been in that team every day and night. I've seen him playing Seville and that. Exactly. And depending on how we're going to play, whether we're going to play with wingers or whether it's going to play inverted, we don't know what he's going to do. But stick him up there. I personally think you'll get more out of him on the left than you will Son. Because Son's better at cutting in and scoring. This fella can cross and pass better than Son. So, mate, I'm 1,010% with you. Well said.
We have to be realistic about Son as well. Yeah. He's getting older. We're going to have to move on from him soon. We can't, we all know we're quite a sentimental fan base. If you've done anything for our club, it's hard for us to turn our backs. Look at Lucas Moura. It's hard for me to get angry until that Liverpool game. With Son, it's like I love Son. I'm never going to disrespect him, but at the same age, he's the same age as me. Like we all get older, we decline. Mm-hmm. Brian Hill's young, and in football, there's trade-offs as well. Like how many big, strong players don't have the dribbling ability and speed that some of these quickie wingers have? There's a trade-off in football. Like you have your strengths, you have your weaknesses. That's always going to be said. There's only, I think, 2 players in the world that I've ever watched play in Ronaldo and Messi where I don't really look at that trade-off. I just see them world-class through and through. They can pretty much do everything. But with everyone else, there's got to be some sort of trade-off. For how good you are at one thing, there's always going to be another thing that you're not that great at. And if you start focusing on the things that they're not great at, and then you just ignore the things that they are good at, I just think that's just the typical Spurs thing that we do. Like I hate saying that because the fact, like, I come on a few of these things and I listen to people like Perchy and Saber and that, and I just think, yeah, these man get it. Like Ashmatic, I'm not gonna lie. I've listened to you on the twins, the two brothers, and I like his talk as well, man. He knows the game. It sounds like he play. And then I heard my brother come onto the Savage show the other day as well, and I was just like, yeah, man, he's gonna be unrealistic. I think there's too many people that get a bit gassed over Tottenham over the years, and we see where we are now. We've lost on our laurels for too long, and it's just yeah, man. I just feel a bit ready. I saw it was coming. I was like, I need to jump on, man. I feel like having a little rant.
Yeah.
Mate, you're welcome on the show anytime, mate. Listen, that's part of it. It's about the community, and everyone's got an opinion. That's the main thing. I was just going to ask, guys, politely though, like, if there's anyone able to rotate with you. You've got a couple more.
Yeah, I'll rotate.
You sure, Ash, mate?
Yeah,
mate,
yeah.
you're obviously welcome back on
start.
anytime. Mate.
Yeah, cool, man. I made my debut.
I've got Joe's there in Philly. I'll bring both of you guys on. Oh, thanks, Ash, mate.
No
you're
worries,
welcome
man. Love
anytime,
people.
mate. Much love.
Big up you guys, man. Love.
And all
Thank
the
you,
guys in the chat, go and subscribe to Southview Coys. Go and put your link in it, and I'll get that link out there. Put your link in the chat.
I will.
And so everyone go and subscribe to this man. Genuinely, like, great content over there. You, Marlon, and Haas, great content over there.
Thank you.
Go and subscribe.
Guys are more than welcome to jump on the channel as well. When we do our lives. We've got one coming up this Tuesday, but yeah, cool. But thanks for having me again. Everyone
over there on Tuesday, go and subscribe.
Tuesday,
hit the bell notification.
Thank you, Perchy again. Thanks again, guys.
Stay safe, mate.
Up, man.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Big up, Jose's back, and big up Philly. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, mate. You know how it is, Perch, man. I'm even better now. The Spurs ain't playing every week, brothers.
You know.
Aren't we all?
I was going to say, we were just talking about like the likes of Brian Hill, and we were talking about the likes of Brian Hill coming through. Do you see him having a future at Tottenham this season coming forward?
He needs to go and go to the gym, and fix himself up. He hasn't got the strength to handle the Premier League. And sending him on loan to Spain is pointless because he knows that league off by heart. He needs to go somewhere like the Championship or low down in the Premier League to try and beef himself up and learn how to play Premier League football. As for Dan, you said something earlier about the 5 million for Longley. I think the club need to learn a lesson from that, mate. I think the club needs to put that 5 million with something else and buy a decent defender. Because every year, we do the 5 million for this man here, and we ain't getting no decent defender.
Backup.
I don't want backup like that, mate. I'm sorry.
But then what you have as backup?
Who don't want a backup? We don't put the money towards. How about you go and buy someone like? How about you go test the water? You would buy Leverkusen for Edmund Tapsoba. How about you go test that water?
Okay. Would we get him
the
for 5
lad
mil?
that
So there is to do.
One I want.
Yeah, but you also need money to do.
Well, that's not my fault, is it? Levy's got the money. It's not like we don't earn money, is it?
But will Levy spend it?
Hey, that's for the fans to decide, isn't it?
Exactly.
If he doesn't spend it, that's more on him, isn't it? Not on me.
My only point of him is for 5 mil. I don't think you're going to do a better job for 5 mil. And as a squad player, I say squad again. I think he's all right sitting there. He's better than Ben Davies.
Yeah, but we saw Sanchez as a squad player last season, and guess what happened there?
Yeah, but it didn't happen with. You need backup in a team as well. You can't just have your first 11. And for backup, I think.
Can you not see at least that Longley's technically good at football?
All right, I'm going to give Longley his due, yeah, right? Longley is a decent player, but if you're playing a high line, yeah, that's opening yourself up for a ground of whipping, blood. And if you've got Eric Dyer in the middle of that as well, mate, you're going to get hiding, blood. As we push forward, yeah, we're going to have gaps at the back, and they're going to exploit it.
100%. Yeah, no, I think you're right, and I think one thing Spurs fans should accept that with Ange in the first couple of games, we're probably going to get smacked up by someone. It was kind of similar when Pochettino started. We had the first few games, it was great, and then we met Liverpool. They smashed us 3-0, and then until that Aston Villa game, Poch's job was on the line. And I think Spurs fans just need to be realistic. I think with Longley, I hear what you're saying, and I'm not going to ignore I'm not ignorant to his weaknesses, but the way I see him is he's just technically a good footballer. And I think one of the problems that Spurs have always had is that we don't have enough technically good footballers. Like when we played Chelsea that season, they beat us 4 times. They weren't having the greatest season. Obviously, they come off the back of 2 finals winning the Champions League, but they weren't having the greatest season. But whenever they show up against Spurs, the one thing they show is that even their players that are deemed as flops are still good footballers. But we get players that are flops that just don't know how to kick the ball. Like literally, like with Longley, yeah, everything you're saying, I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong. Like you've seen it and your observation is correct. But in a different system, look at Cameron Carter-Vickers. Cameron Carter-Vickers belongs in the NFL. Yeah, he's just done a treble with Ange Postecoglou. If he can get a treble out of Ange, I'm sorry, but I think he can at least get a League Cup or an FA Cup out of Longley. And that's not even as a squad player. I reckon even in the starting 11.
I think the starting 11, yeah, we can do a lot better. The starting 11 for me, yeah, what it should be, yeah, is the starting 11, yeah, should drop down to the bench. Because I don't think our starting 11 is that good anyway. I don't think he's as good as you think he is.
Or Harry Kane.
No, I don't think it is. I think our 11 needs to be improved. But I think that bringing players like Longley in for 5 mil, that's calm. Like that's you know, it's
you're not going to get it better.
Nothing. Yeah, and if for what he is, he's left-footed. He's technically a good footballer. If he's the third choice behind 2 good centre backs, and he has to come in, that's not a big problem. Like, look at Davis. I've got a lot of respect for Davis. He's done the club well, but he's not technically a good footballer. Whenever he comes in, it's like a hot potato. He don't know how to deal with possession. He doesn't know how to handle the ball. Longley knows how to handle the ball. He knows how to play in a team that plays with possession. And if we're going to play
but Ben Davis is the typical squad player, mate. I'm not even being nasty. He is a typical squad player, yeah, where Mr. Reliable, when you've got injury, then you play him one game or 2 games. You don't play him for a long season, a long thing like that. Is Longley happy to do that at Spurs? Because I don't think he will be.
Well, if he comes here, we will see.
Maybe not.
Well, that's it.
Well, he did.
I don't want him.
He basically did. No, out of choice, mate. I wouldn't want him, and I wouldn't want half the ones. But I think the thing that you're not quite seeing here is I think you're talking with your heart and not your head. Same as most of us do. And that is, no, we don't want players like that. We don't want this. But who are we? We are only Tottenham these days. 5 mil for him for backup. For me, he's better backup than Davis.
This is what I can
that
see
is the only point I'm making. That's the only point I'm getting at.
Yeah, but that's a low bar. I mean, that's a low bar.
But Philly, mate, the bar's very low anyway.
Well, you have to pick yourself up, innit? Why are you paying the highest prices in the league, yeah, with the bar so low?
Yeah, but that's different. For me, that's a different argument, though. Like, for me, that's a totally different argument. At the moment, I think we have to realise where we are I always say it, where we are in the food chain. For me, at the moment, we are 8th in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our level at the moment. We're not Champions League level. We're not European.
I never said we were.
No, I know. But when we say, we've just got to raise it in standards, our standards are where we are because of absolute gross negligence from the owner of the football club. Totally. And I think collectively everyone here probably agrees with that sentiment. So this is where I do get what Dan's saying in the sense of getting in Longley. I'm not a massive fan of him, but he is better than what we have. And but the only argument is if you buy Longley now, this is it. The only way I'll back it is if it means we bought in 2 other centre backs.
Exactly.
If we haven't, and he's one of those centre backs we're keeping for the first team, as we want it in air quotes, then I'm completely against it because he's not good enough. But if you get him in 5 million euros on a 2-year contract, I'll go, do you know what? It's a stopgap. And you go, do you know what? We can start building, but you have to go and get. If we bring in Longley, we have to go and buy 2 other centre backs, and that was my point on it.
One point, Perch, that I'll make here, is without the right backup. Look what happened to Arsenal last year. As soon as they lost their defender, game over. Now,
it happened to Tottenham.
Great. I'm not saying he would make us great, whatever, but he's better than what Arsenal had as backup. And he would do the job at backup, and for 5 million, mate, I just don't think you're going to get a better offer for a squad player. I mean, if anything, he's more level-headed. He's safer on the pitch than Romero. And don't get me wrong, I think Romero is brilliant, but he needs that daddy next to him to hold his hand. Mm-hmm. I think Longley, I'd rather him against AC Milan than Romero because he's more level on the head, which gives him that one over. Even though he hasn't got the skill, he's got the brain more for it. Do you see where I'm going? Yeah.
I just wanted to pick up Alex, mate. What am I doing again? Tell me, what am I doing again, my friend? I'm clutching at straws. Alex, if we have to do the box office battle again, I'm always happy. You know where the link is pinned. You're always welcome.
when I look at Longley, yeah, no disrespect to you. When I look at Longley, yeah, I just see another player, yeah, that we bringing in and to fill out the squad, but he's nowhere near the level that we need to be. I'm sorry to say.
I agree.
I think Longley, yeah, would do well at someone like Crystal Palace, where he can play like the Anderson there. That's the kind of team that he should be playing with, where he's next to him and he's got the legs to carry him through the game. Because Longley, to me, yeah, is suspect. And when we get run at by the likes of Haaland and the player that Man United are after now, we're gonna get torn to shreds, mate. We are too no.
Yeah, but with what we've got, we're torn to shreds anyway. The only point I'm making here is back up. Simple as that. I'm not talking first 11. I am talking.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you, yeah, Dan, I like you, yeah. I respect what you're saying, but I don't trust Daniel Levy, mate. And I've been here last year where we were told all summer we're going to fix the defense. The summer before that we're going to fix the defense, yeah. And then we're not going to have Eric Dyer as the main defender. Guess what happens? Eric Dyer is the main defender, and then you wonder why it goes wrong again.
But no, Philly,
that's the definition of insanity. What do you think is going to happen?
But Philly, that's where I do actually agree with your point here. Is a sense of that's how I feel like I am saying in the middle of what you and Dan are saying. You're both saying actually the right things, but coming from different angles. I think my point is I haven't got a massive issue if we get in the likes of Longley, but we have to go and buy 2 proper defenders over instead. If he's one of the 2 defenders that we get in, then it's a massive disaster.
Yep.
And that's the key point here. And I get your point. Can you trust Daniel Levy to go and bring in, or whoever's in charge, to go and bring in 2 proper defenders? That's the bit. Before we carry on, guys, I just want to say, DK, welcome in, mate. Danny Kiriakou, I know you wanted to come in for this conversation, so I thought I'd just drag you in and bring the sexy bun to the show. It's no wonder why the viewers have gone up, because the sexy bun has turned up. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How's everyone doing? I'm enjoying the conversation, but I thought I definitely had to come and jump in. I'm going to wait and see what Alex, because I know you're going to draw Alex in, Perchy. You're going to draw him in, so he's going to come in at some point.
Alex wants to come on. He's
of course he does. Mate, of course he does. He can't. You want to come on? Alex, Mr. Delusional Alex, can't help himself, so he's going to come on at some point. But what I'm going to say right now, so first of all, I want to have a quick point on Brian Hill, because I also agree that I think he's a good player. He's a young player, but obviously with him, there's a couple of things that people forget, right? First of all, Brian Hill, a lot of managers, including Conte. Now, Conte is not wrong in his analysis of the club and the players, right? Everything he says is spot on about us, right? Conte is a level manager where he's a win now manager. Everyone knows this, right? Now, Conte said Brian Hill is a very good player and he could be a very good player in the future. He compared him to Bernardo Silva. But the difference with Bernardo Silva and Brian Hill is, again, unfortunately, Bernardo Silva might not look like he's a strong player, but he's far more physical than Brian Hill is. And you can see that in his game, right? Mm-hmm. The way he dropped his shoulder, he's more aggressive. And Brian Hill needs that in his game if he wants to work in the Premier League. Now, what the fans forget is the fact that, in my opinion, I've got a funny feeling that Brian Hill doesn't want to play in the Premier League. Because since he's been in England, I know he's young, but he hasn't done anything to try and improve his physique, his stature, his kind of build. I think there was last summer, he kind of improved a little bit. But again, if I just have a feeling that he doesn't want to be in the Premier League, and I just think he's kind of done with Tottenham. So I personally think that he wants to leave. The only way Brian Hill stays is if Ange has that talk and says, look, this is the way I'm going to play. I think I want to see you how you work, etc., etc. I think he could be a good squad player for us. He might even turn into something better. But again, I think you have to look at it in the way that Ange plays his system, right? He likes very technically gifted players, and Brian Hill could play that 1-2 touch football, right? I think, in my opinion. And I think he would fit as a rotational player with Son on the left wing, because the way Ange plays, he likes to have his wingers really wide out on the pitch, right? Yeah. So he likes to keep them wide out, and they come sort of into the edge of the box and then kind of cut inside a little bit. Brian Hill would be perfect for that.
Yeah, but Danny, don't you think that Brian Hill would make a good number 8?
I think so. Yeah, I think he would. But I think Philly, the only issue with that is he has to be stronger if he wants to be a number 8.
Yeah,
I don't think he's ever going to be that player. I don't think he has to. If I was Brian Hill right now, I'd be reaching out to Bernardo Silva and asking him, how did you get into the shape you got to? How did you get into that physique? How do you maintain that level of physicality in the Premier League? Because if I'm that young player and I've just watched someone like Bernardo Silva and I've been compared to him, I'd be reaching out to him to try and get knowledge to understand how he is the way he is, right? I'm not saying he's Bernardo Silva's level or ever will be, but I'm saying that if he wants to test himself and see if he can actually make it in the Premier League, he has to get physically better. And for me, I think even as a winger, I think he will add something to our team, but he needs more. And that's the issue with Brian Hill. And obviously the fact that he doesn't, we don't know if he actually wants to stay in England, right? Because I think he really loves Spain. He loves Sevilla. He loves the Spanish culture. I think it just suits him better. It reminds me of, now people might not agree with me, but it reminds me of Juan Foyth, when Juan Foyth was at Spurs. Some people said, oh, we shouldn't have sold him. I'm sorry. For me, he was never going to make it in the Premier League because it's just not, it doesn't suit him. It just didn't suit the physicality of the league. He's perfect for Spain because of his technical ability. He just doesn't suit English football. He was getting caught out too many times. I know he didn't get a lot of chances, but when he did play, sometimes he was all right, sometimes it was really bad. And it's like there's just certain players that just cannot play in the Premier League. It's just
but then Danny, wouldn't that fit the man that Lo Celso? Lo Celso to me, he's not a Premier League player. To me, he's more of a La Liga player.
Completely agree, Philly, and it's exactly the same player. Lo Celso just can't keep up with the physicality, the intensity, and the demands of the Premier League. Some players just can't grasp that, and that's the thing. And if you look at Lo Celso when you play him, when he's in like the Champions League with Villarreal, or when he was playing in the La Liga, he's a much more better player because the way they play football out there is so different. And you know, Perch, because you watch watching Espanol, so you know exactly what the difference in football is like. All right, it's a far more technically gifted game.
Technical.
A lot more players. Definitely.
I agree with everything you're saying. You're saying. I just think that we will be playing different. The attacking style that Ange likes to play, I feel like that could inspire Brian Hill. I think that the problem is
I agree.
Come into the most uninspiring time that Tottenham's. Actually, that's not true because I was through the 90s and that was dead. But what I'm saying is that recently, since Pochettino left, we've taken on these sort of more pragmatic style of managers, and we've had
definitely
Nuno and Conte that he had, and I don't think he's been inspired by those managers and the philosophy. And if you look at Celtic, for example, if you put Brian Hill in Celtic's team last season, I think he would have done wonders.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, I agree with you,
Brian Gill. One other point I make with Brian Gill, like we said, put him as a number 8, no chance. He will get kicked all over the place.
Yeah.
Again, in my opinion, a number 7, which I presume is on the right, and a number 11 on the wing. You don't need to be physical. And personally, I think with Gill, even if you put the man on steroids, he ain't putting on weight. As all he's going to do is perk his chest up at the best and get some rips. He's just he could probably eat 1,000 kebabs and lose weight. Yeah. Now you stick him on the left, running up and down, he's going to get knocked off the ball. We're going to get fouls up there. Look what happens to Wilshere, and look at him. His thighs are bigger than my bloody body. Yeah, and he gets knocked off the ball, and the amount of fouls and crosses they get up there. Now imagine Brian Gill on the left, charging up there, bang, clean off the ball. Thank you, free kick into the box. Does that sound technical?
Yeah, I think the way that Ange plays and the way his football is very 1-2 touch football, right? That's the way he wants to play. Very progressive, very high pressing football, and I think that suits. I believe it suits Brian Hill's game. And I think it's a matter of Ange having a conversation with him and seeing if he still wants to have a career at Spurs. If he doesn't, then we know he's going to go. If he does, then I think we might get to see a bit more of the Brian Hill we might kind of expected. I'm not saying he's a fantastic player or a really world-class potential. I'm saying he's a good player. He's a good player with good technical ability who I think suits the way that Ange likes to play. And I think he could offer us something that we didn't have last season, because as you said, we're going to be playing a different style of football, which is what he's going to try and implement. I would like to see Hill stay. I hope he does stay, but we'll see. But can I just add one more point onto the conversation you were having about Longley? Now, Longley is an interesting one because I get a lot of what people were saying about like he's 5 million. It's a better backup than what we've got. The problem we've got is that this to me again just absolutely stinks of the club buying players that they want just because it's 5 million euros, right?
Yeah.
Now the problem I've got with it is because look, we brought in Longley because we couldn't get our first targets under Antonio Conte, and now we want to bring him in because he's the only option that we can get cheap. I mean, that to me is absolute lazy recruitment, right?
Mhm.
Again,
No,
it's
I
not,
agree with that.
and it's not listening to what the manager wants, right?
Thank you.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
And what I don't like about this Longley deal is it represents exactly what we're trying to get rid of.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I
Right?
agree.
It's to get a manager in who says, look, give me a youngster who's unknown or something like that, and let's try work with him. Who's got the problem with Longley is, right? The only thing Longley has got is he's good on the ball. Other than that, he's exactly the same as Ben Davies. He's actually slower than Ben Davies. He turns like a fucking oil tanker. He turns so slow. And the problem we've got is, right, that people forget, Ange likes to play a back four. You put Longley, and if you look at Ange's systems and the way he plays, right, his players are literally on the halfway line, right? They're so high up the pitch. If a player, any Premier League player that's got half a yard of pace, right, it goes past Longley. Longley is not chasing them down for shit. He's not doing.
Right, Danny, Danny, I'm not even going to be nasty. You know that United game, when the ball got played through to Rashford and you saw Dyer on toast? That's what Longley will be. That's exactly what I see with Longley going to happen, mate.
It'll be exactly the same. And the problem we've got is that Longley he's just not going to play the Ange system. And I think getting him in, right, is just for me, it's the start of setting up Ange for failure already. That's how I see it. And if we sign Longley, I don't know how long it's gonna last with Ange. And I want Ange to work. I really want him to work. And just because of his philosophy, his style, the man himself, and also like his values of football and what he wants to bring. And I'm sorry, but Longley is nowhere near the epitome of an Ange type of player, if that makes sense.
Right. I'll give you a point here then to go with that one, yeah. And please don't think I'm desperate to keep this fella. I'm not. I'm looking at this as a more world than a country, if you get what I mean. Right.
Yeah.
So the way you're saying Angie plays and everything else, seen it all myself, yeah. Doesn't that mean that Davison Sanchez is more gifted to Angie's style than
no, because like Sean said the other day, how can you have pace if you're on your backside so often? Like Sean said that one.
My point is, he's quick, like I said, and he can tackle when he wants to. I think he needs to be gone.
You're missing the point. Right. So first of all, it looks like Davison Sanchez told the club he wants to leave this summer. So that's thank
yeah, I want him gone, mate.
That's one gone.
Finally, that's one good thing about what could happen this summer. As long as Spurs don't overprice him for a move to keep him Spurs because they don't want too much money. Now, the problem with Sanchez, again, is that you have to understand the key values of Ange Postecoglou is he wants technically gifted, quick, hungry players, right? Players who can run non-stop, players who can press high, players who are very technically gifted, and young players, right? That's who he kind of likes to base his philosophy on. Davison Sanchez has got one of the attributes of a modern day footballer, which is he's quick, he's quite strong. But other than that, he's got the balance of I don't even know how to compare to. He doesn't even have balance at all.
It's like he's got spaghetti on his legs.
Yeah, he's basically spaghetti. Yeah.
I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, and the problem is that he has got probably the worst ball retention out of any of our centre backs in our squad right now, and he will be even worse at the back just because he cannot play out from the back.
And aerially suspect as hell as well, man. I don't trust him in the air, mate. And anywhere near it, when the ball goes up, he just looks up there and he's just a gormless guy. I've got nothing.
He's a bad defender, right? He's bad on the ball. He's terrible at standing up the attackers, right? He cannot defend. So he doesn't even have the only thing he's got going for him is that he's quick and he's strong. But even his strength, I've seen him being outbarged by Bernardo Silva and other players like this. I mean, and that's suspect to me. So for me, I think we cannot keep these. I mean, obviously, we all know we can't keep these players, but this is my point on why I don't want Longley, and I just think Longley is already one tick off the tick list for Daniel Levy, and that's already one thing on Ange's kind of set up to failure list type of thing. That's how I see it.
Could you say the same conversation for Kulusevski though?
Yes, I could.
I think it's the same conversation with Kulusevski.
I don't think so. I'll tell you why, Perchi, and I'll let you explain your point as well. The reason I think Kulu will work is because, you have to look at the core values of what Postecoglou wants in his player, right? He wants technically gifted players. Now, we all can agree Kulusevski is a very technically gifted player, right?
Agreed.
He wants hard-working players who will work very hard. Now, we can all agree Kulusevski, he works tirelessly, right? He does work tirelessly. And I think last season, part of the problem was that he wasn't confident in his final third, in his final end product of his game, right? He was overhitting passes, overhitting crosses. He wasn't confident in his own ability. He was defending a lot more than what he should have been doing. And if you change the transition of the way he's playing now into a more attacking player, putting him more further up the pitch, pressing higher up the pitch, I think that's exactly where you want Kulusevski. And I think he's someone who's like a bit of a sponge. And I think Postecoglou will look at that and think, I can work with this guy. And this is why I think someone like Kulu is a perfect player for.
All right, question for you. I had this big debate with Sav and Perchi the other week. Yeah, Kulusevski, do you think he'd be better as a number 10? Sitting behind, back to goal, because we know he's strong. He's not the quickest, but he can pass the ball, he can shoot the ball, he can cross the ball. So play him as a number 10, as a target man as such, back to goal, get the ball, turn around, and whoever's there. Do you think he'd be better as a number 10 or better as the number 7 he is? Just out of question.
It's hard to say because he's always said himself that he sees himself more as a number 10.
At Juventus, he played a number 10 most of the time.
He played both.
Yeah, he did.
He played
number 10 more enough times.
And for Sweden, he plays on the wing.
Yeah, he does.
But I prefer him on the wing. I think just because the reason why is because when you watch Kulu play, when he was playing at his best when he first came in, he can go both feet. He can take on a player, he can stand up a player and go both ways. He can go left foot, right foot. And this is what I like about him, right? Obviously last season, I personally think the injury was a massive problem for him, right? Yeah. And I think that you could see, not just him, it's everyone in the team, right? Everyone's confidence was not as good. But look, I think the only way we'll find out is if we try him there. I haven't seen enough of him in a 10 to kind of make me think he could be our number 10. But he obviously seems to think that's his best position, so maybe he will work better as a number 10.
Yeah, but Danny, does Postecoglou play with a 10 or does he play with 2 8s?
He plays like he kind of plays like the 3 in midfield, but one sitting a little bit further ahead.
Right. So one of the Kulu as one of the 8s there in front of the defense, in front of the like you say, yeah, buy a proper DM, buy a solid DM.
Yeah. We've got one.
Right, and then have him playing in front of him on one side, and then if you wanted to, you have Maddison on the other side. Now that is threatening.
I agree.
But are Tottenham willing to do that?
Who would you say is the DM?
We have to buy a good DM. We have to look around and buy a good DM. That's the question mark, and then you have to think. You have to factor in there the age as well, because I want a solid young DM here, because I'm looking to build for the future as well. So and this is cost effective in the fact that if you build it now, right, then later on in the line, you don't have to go back to that situation again. So it's going to save you money in the long run. That's how I always looked at football.
Yeah, Basuma's not an old boy. And do you remember when he played at Brighton? They used to play in box.
Yeah, we didn't play at the DM.
He did at Brighton a few times, and he won the game quite a few times.
I'll tell you.
He's more box to box. He's not really a defensive.
Yeah, I agree with that. But he can cover that. He can cover that space quite nicely.
Yeah, but do you know what we need, Dan? What we need, right, is what we've been lacking since he left is a Wanyama type player. We need an absolute monster. Every top team needs that. Every top team that wants to compete at the top level needs that absolute powerhouse like defensive midfielder. And Wanyama was so underrated in my opinion.
I agree. I thought he was very good.
For that 2 seasons until he got that bloody knee injury that completely wrecked his career, right? Before that, he was very, very technically gifted. Like, he could score goals, he could score headers, he could pass the ball incredibly well, right? And he was just an absolute machine. Like, he was just, nothing was getting through him. And that's what we're lacking right now at Spurs. And I think in any system that Postecoglou wants to play, I think eventually that's what we're going to need to get if we want to really kind of push on in the midfield. I think we need that because Bentancur is not that type of player. Basuma's not that type of player. If you have like a defensive midfield, even Bentancur and Basuma, I think that's a great midfield. And then you've got the options to kind of rotate. If you bring in a Maddison or you bring in an Alex Scott or someone like that.
And then it'll give them time to mature, and develop as a player, because we rush players too often as well. That's another thing that we do. We force players to evolve early. Like Skip, Skip really and truly shouldn't be in the first team. Really and truly, he should be a squad player. But we're so desperate for players here that we force them players to evolve, and that's another issue that I have with the Tottenham squad.
I agree.
Guys, so quick question. We've got a few. We've been going on a bit. I just wanted to sort of welcome Mr. Box Office. The Professor of Truth and Entertainment is here.
Professor of
absolutely. Oh, Alex. What are you gonna do?
Big up Alex, my brother, man. Carry on, bro.
I wanted to give some questions because there's a few things I've pinned and stuff that was I saw in it. Antonis, well, big up to you, mate. Always in the chat. Big up, mate. Here's a question. I'll let the Professor of Truth and Entertainment say because he's going to come here and absolutely finish me. Who do you think's a better right winger, Harvey Barnes or Dejan Kulusevski?
Kulu all day long.
What? Who? Barnes and Dejan?
Yeah.
Barnes all day long.
Oh,
Barnes
why?
all day long.
What's your reasoning for it?
I don't like that deal that we made with Kulusevski. I don't
why?
like it.
Tell me why you don't
just
like
tells
it.
me that we're not going to get a creative midfielder for me. I don't think we're doing it.
We're linked with James Maddison, mate.
Well, we'll have to see what that happens because I'm still not married yet. So I mean, I'm still waiting for that to happen. So that's like Spurs waiting for a trophy, isn't it? You know what I mean? So as far as I'm concerned, you know what I mean? So you know, it's not like I've been told. Like I said before, because I've been told I need to be all more optimistic. But until Tottenham convince me that Andris Postecoglou is going to be the future. Because like I said before, and I'm repeating myself what I said before, I've said it on my channel, Mr. Box Office TV, if you really want to know, the innovator, the Mr. Professor of Truth and Entertainment in the building every single time in the house, like I said. Yeah.
No,
I said after 5 to 6 games, if we lose those games, we'll see whether they're backing him. We'll see whether they're backing him. You see what I'm saying?
You could, but the thing
because
is,
you know how it is with Daniel Levy. I apologise to the masses that I said his name, but you know what? Unfortunately, we have to mention his name. We know what the board's like. After 6 games, if we don't look like we're going for top 4, which is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous with this squad that needs to be building another squad again. Let's see what happens. Let's see if they've really got the minerals to keep and back.
Yeah, but Alex, don't you think that's self-preservation? Don't you think with the board there, self-preservation?
Pardon?
It's self-presentation, yeah. Throw a man in front of the bus, yeah, so that I can save face with Daniel Levy. He's a coward. He's a gutless coward, brother. Because to save myself, yeah, I will throw you in front of the bus. That to me says to me, yeah, if his mother was in trouble, he'd dash her in front of the bus to save his ass. That's exactly what I see when I see Daniel Levy. That's why I don't want nothing to do with my man there. I'm Levy out. Every day, every moment, every second, I'm Levy out, brother. Because I can't stand this dude, man. He is a bad reflection of human being.
You said it perfectly. You said it perfectly there. Because as I said before, this is not my first rodeo. Like I said before. You know what I mean? So I'm a philosophical guy. You know what I mean? Alex, he's a positive guy, yeah? He's got faith.
Alex, what's your opinion on Longley?
The main event. He's a very direct guy, and Danny knows that as well because he's Mr. Deluded over here. You know what I mean? Like I said, but back to you, Danny. There you go. There you go, bro.
Alex,
I want to ask it's your show. God, honestly, Danny's taking over the show.
No, he wants his 5 minutes of fame. He wants his 5 minutes of fame. He wants his 5 minutes of fame. Yeah, you all right? And by the way, big up to this guy called Ty, by the way, yeah? I liked his jip, by the way, yeah? If he wants to come back, yeah, definitely. If he wants to go 2 rounds with Mr. Box Office every single time, he could do it as well if you want to do that. If he wants to come at Mr. Box Office.
Challenging you, Ty.
But the point is, back to you, Danny, because I know you want to say something to the main event.
I went to go on, Perch, because I wanted to ask Alex. I was going to ask Alex what's his opinion on the Longley thing. If we do sign Longley, what's your opinion on it, Alex?
Like everything, he's okay. Bye bye. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I've got to be honest. We're 5 million. Someone said he's a great backup. It sums it all up. All I said before, like I said before, if we got our spine, which is Romero, yeah, he's confirmed it. He said he's staying at Tottenham Hotspur. Not that I want him to stay at Tottenham Hotspur. I'm making the point. Is that what I'm saying? Lenglet and Romero, no way, don't work. You know what I mean? I said already, huh?
Not just them two. I agree with that. The only thing I'll go on is a bit of backup for 5 mil. We need it.
Dan, I hear your point. But the problem is that we need players that work well together. You see what I'm saying? So for me, if you're going to get somebody in that is similar to the player that we're trying to get in that works with Romero, or somebody like Romero, who's similar to Romero, fair enough.
You don't want someone similar to him standing next to him, that's for sure.
Well, no. But what I'm saying is, if Romero's off, if he's injured or something like that, you get somebody else in who's like Romero or someone like that. You see what I'm saying? That can work with the defender, like a Vertonghen, like the defender that's who's possibly leaving Manchester, Laporte, because those are the sort of players that would work well with Romero. That's my point.
Look, we're nowhere near getting Laporte, though. I think
no. But you're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. A player like Laporte. You see what I'm saying?
We need a leader at the back.
You need somebody who can lead Romero. That's what I'm trying to say. Like a John Terry, like a Rio Ferdinand. You see what I'm saying? That is a very cultured defender, like Vertonghen, for instance, like Vertonghen and Sanchez when they were up.
Like Ledley King back in the day, like Gary Mabbott back in the day. We all had a leader at the back.
That's what I'm saying. It's about partnerships at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? And that's what Tottenham Hotspur have not had for the past how many years now? Ironically, I called Højbjerg a bang average midfielder, but when Højbjerg next to Bentancur, he looked like a quality midfielder. You see what I'm saying? Dembele,
yeah, that's good game, bro. Yeah, but that's good. Højbjerg, had to play within himself when he's playing with the likes of Winks and that, because he's having to compensate for them, because them mans are too lazy to do their own job. So why am I compensating for you, man? When Bentancur came in, he had someone he could actually play with, so that therefore he could actually play his natural game. Because for Denmark, he's not a creator for Denmark. He's a deep lying midfielder, more of a box to box, passing the ball through to the creators. That's his job. So when people keep going banging on about, why does Højbjerg score more goals? Guess what? Højbjerg's not an attacking midfielder, blood. He's more of a DM, that kind of midfielder. He doesn't score many goals.
Philly, I'll be honest, I don't know what Højbjerg does.
I don't know even pass forward.
I don't know what role he is. This is my concern. He's not. You're right. He's not a number 10. He's not. I don't think he's a DM either. I think his positional awareness is horrendous. He's not very good on the ball. He's one of those players, you know, when you look at it, you go, apart from his pointing and shouting at people, what does he genuinely do in midfield? Like, that's my honest opinion on him. I don't think he does anything like that we need to.
But he said he came to do the dirty work, isn't it?
Who's realistic?
I don't think he does that.
I think for me at the moment, right, is that I think for me, we just have to wait and see what happens. Okay, I can't really comment too much. I'm not the best at, because I need to do more research on players and stuff like that myself, which is going to take time as far as I'm concerned. But at the moment, I'm still philosophical. What's happening? I'm happy we made a choice of what we've chosen, but I still need convincing this is the way forward. Because at the end of the day, I've just mentioned, like I said before, if he has a few bad games, are they going to back him and keep him at the club? Because you know exactly what this board is like. It's all mixed up because they all don't know what they want. You know, they're not all the same, for the same home seat. You see what I'm saying?
Do you know?
And this season will be a very difficult season for Tottenham Hotspur because we're still talking about Harry Kane. Don't want to say his name again because I'm bored of the situation. I'm so bored of it. You know what I mean? We should have made a decision on him a long time ago. You see what I'm saying? And that's not a club.
They're deflecting behind it, bro.
That's down to the board, right? That's down to Levy being Levy. That's as simple as that, right? If Levy only cares about the image, that's all he cares about. He doesn't care about what's good for the club. He doesn't give a shit about that. He only cares about what's good, not even what's good like for the numbers. Because if he was a sensible businessman in football, which he's not because he's proved it over 23 years, right? He would have been saying, right, we need to sell Kane and rebuild the squad. That's what he would have done this season, right? but he doesn't give a shit about that, right? Because what he sees it is that it's better to keep Kane. He's more valuable to Spurs for one more season and letting him go on a free than it is to sell him now for 80 million to 100 million and then rebuild the team. That's delusion. That is fucking delusion, right?
Yeah, because we're not winning anything with him. We're not winning anything.
No,
I mean, look, we're building skyscrapers. For God's
yeah,
sake.
I mean, look, we just got
the skyscrapers are mad.
Someone put out that we're going to have another five stories
You know what
on
I'm
top of the
saying?
hotel.
It's-
I mean, this is the news we get. We get more news that we're going to get 5 more new stories on top of the hotel. It's like 5 new stories. We'll never sing that. It's like it's ridiculous. I mean, look, you know, with the Longley thing, right? What pisses me off? You've got players out there who are actually realistic. You can actually go and get. There's 2 players who I would take as that left centre back option, right? Who's much better than Longley, right? There's one player who I think in the Premier League is Max Kilman. I think he's a far better player, proper defender, right? Quick. He's not super fast, but he's quick. He's strong. He's good in the air. He's big. He's 6'3". And there's another player in playing for Wolfsburg. His name is a Dutch player. Again, he's actually a very quick player for what he is.
Who's that, Timber?
No. He plays for Wolfsburg. His name is Mickey van der Veen. He's a Dutch player, right?
He's the one Liverpool want, though.
He's the one Liverpool are looking at, right? But he's 21 years old. His market value is around 18 million euros, right? So you could pick him up for probably 20, 25 million euros, right? That's a player who you could have longevity, right? A player who you can actually build a future with. He's very strong. He's very good in the air. He's big. He's quick. He's good on the ball. He's exactly the type of player that Postecoglou would want, in my opinion. And I think there's players out there we can go and get. And this is what fucking frustrates me when I see things. When I saw Romano's tweet today, he was saying that we've got 2 other options, right, for left centre back, right? If they go and buy Longley as the left centre back, we're fucked. We're finished. He's part of one of the worst defences we've ever seen in English football for Tottenham. He's part of that defence, and we're going to go sign him. It's ridiculous, honestly.
It is ludicrous. I agree with Danny.
Yeah, this guy as well. Exactly. This guy as well. He's wicked.
This is who I want. Me and Sean, we want to show. And we went through this, like, just do it because Sean has access to Y Scout, which is just what all the scouts use to get data on players and stuff. And you get clips of him. This lad is a good hard working centre half. Yeah. If you watched him in the World Cup, he was in that Japan side that were like just hard working players.
Yeah.
6
million quid. You could.
This is what I'm saying.
So why are our scouts so lazy then and having to pick up Lingley? That's late. Like Danny said earlier, that's lazy scouting, blood. Because you've seen it yourself. Sean found demand him. So how was a fan finding that but the club themselves here, who have paid thousands of pounds to do their job, can't find the players there?
YouTubers can go and find it, but somehow people that are paid to do that job. But this is the thing.
Yeah. Percy, what that's the point I was going to say, what Phil's just said. You know what I mean? Because why is it that you're looking at it and you can find somebody like that anyway? Not that I know that much about him myself, you know what I mean? But
we're going for longer.
Why is it that we're going for these sort of players when there are better players out there? I mean, for goodness sake, it's embarrassing. Brighton are finding good players. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Brighton have a strategy, though. We don't have a strategy, and this is the key part of it. We need an actual proper strategy at this football club.
It's never going to happen, is it?
No, Danny,
players at the back that I would kill for.
Sorry, mate.
And there's 2 perfect players to play as left back and centre back that I would absolutely kill for. The only one that might let the centre back down, I'm going to say, is his age, and I'm trying to remember his name. This morning, I ain't too sharp, like I said earlier. He plays at Ajax, centre-back. He's about 21, 22, and I cannot remember his bloody name.
Is it Timber?
I think that might be it. I think he would be brilliant for us, but I don't think he'd work well with Romero because he's too young to control Romero.
Yeah, Timber. Look, I watch Ajax, Dan, because Ajax is my second team, right?
The other one that I would like, I watch Italian football gospel. It's my second league, and Inter Milan is my second team. The one who I would kill for at the back, and they only brought him on the last 20 minutes the other day as a left back, is what's his name? Goosens. I can't pronounce his bloody name.
Ruben Goosens. I know him.
Yeah. Now, he's better than Perisic in the aspect of he can play left back, left wing back, left midfield, and left attacking midfield. He can cross, he can tackle, he can head the ball, he can get stuff. And do you know what? Inter have to sell because they don't have the money that we do. And 20 mil, 25 mil, personal opinion, I think we'd snatch him up. It'd be harder to get Timber than it would him.
Timber's not going to go to Timber will go to someone like Man United. They tried to get
that would not surprise me. Right? I was just saying he's a player I would like there.
No, he's a good he's a very good player, right? A very good young player. But again, someone like Timber, he still needs more time. Like I said, I've been watching Ajax for the last 4 years, right, religiously, like I do with Spurs, and he's a very, very good player, right? He's got a lot of potential, but he's not what we need right now, and he needs to be. If you put him next to someone like a Varane, someone who's a world-class player, someone who has won everything, basically, that's what you need to put him next to. Not next to a Romero. It will never work.
That's what I meant.
Maybe as a right centre back with someone who's a commanding player, But for me, Timber's not in our market. He's going to cost way too much money as well. Because last summer they wanted him, but he didn't want to leave Ajax, so he signed an extension. I think he signed an extension. But now,
Danny, I'm not even being nasty yet. I am so impressed by Edmund Tapsoba at Bayer Leverkusen. My man fills in for Hincapié when he goes forward. My man shows responsibility because, like I said, he fills in for Hincapié when he goes forward or makes a mistake. And I think he could do the same thing for Romero. This man at the back here would revolutionise our back line. And I think he would be perfect for us. But it's a question of have they got the stomach to do it?
That's the thing. Like, Tapsoba is probably one of the most, let's just say he's one of the best young defenders around at the moment based on his form of last season, right? And there's a lot of clubs that seem to be interested in him. Like, I'm talking the Real Madrids, the Man United, the big clubs. Now, when you're going up against them, we're never going to get him. So the only way you go for him is if you try. But I just don't think Tottenham will spend the type of money it will take to get someone like Tapsoba because he's going to cost you a minimum of 50 million. And and I think he's better than Hincapié. Hincapié is, again, he's going to cost a lot of money, but he's also even more stupid than Romero in terms of his aggression and his concentration levels. And I think he would be an absolute disaster if we signed him. So I don't think we're going to go for him.
Can the main event speak? I need to say something.
Give it a rest, Alex. Main event.
I need to say something. I need to say something.
I
need to say something. I need to say something. Yeah, I need to say something. The main event needs to speak.
The thing is, it's the beauty of it because I'm in charge. That'll do for a second. Barry, welcome to the show. Welcome back, Ty. I can silence the professor of truth and entertainment. That's the beauty of it. Alex, welcome, guys. By the way, Alex, go on, do your thing.
Yeah. By the way, it's good to see Ty back in the building. Yeah, good to see you. Anyway, I need to say something because some people are saying about youngsters. All of a sudden, yeah, they're talking about youngsters. Yeah. Okay, who's the leader that's going to be able to get these youngsters through the door? By the way, can someone tell me? Because I'm getting bored of hearing about, we need to bring in Dane Scarlett. We need to bring in Harvey White, whatever his name is as well, yeah? Okay, so who's doing that, yeah? Because since John McDermott came out the door, yeah, who was the guy that was working well with Pochettino, by the way, the guy that people say that I don't talk about too much, yeah? Right, yeah? We had somebody in. Because the last person that we had was useless. And he's just left right now, yeah? So let's start talking more realistic here right now, because Andris Postecoglou can't do all the work. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I'm bored of hearing these people say, we need this youngster. We need this youngster. We need this youngster. Well, get somebody in that to do something about that then. You know what I mean? Absolute rubbish. You know what I mean? And that's it. Because when you got reality check, we need to start getting some people that are going to work well with these players to get us through the door. And that's it. And that's all I need to say. And that's it.
And I'm done.
And that's it. I'm done.
Oh my God, you can't even say my name right. It's Perchy. Come on, man. Come on.
So anyway, I don't actually know what point you made, Alex. Again, waffle. and you went round the houses. And we weren't sure.
Barry. Sorry that you're irrelevant in the conversation, yeah, but the main event was speaking, bruv, yeah, and made itself known. Make yourself known now, man, because you're gonna get. There's a mic now. Make yourself known. Give you 5 minutes to make yourself known now. That's it.
You had your medicine today, Barry.
Mr. Box Office has given me my 5 minutes of fame. What a load of waffle!
On my channel,
just like the other day when he disappeared when he didn't know what he was talking about. So, yeah.
Oh God. Make yourself known, Barry. Come on. Have you had your medicine?
I don't need to make myself known because obviously, apparently, according to Alex, what gems did Alex come out with this week?
Honestly, the gems are brilliant.
What have we got? West Ham are bigger than Tottenham.
Yeah, that was one.
We go back to the best one, which I think was the one about Haaland being a poor man's John Carew. Yeah, that was a.
Oh, that's the blinder. That's one that you get in the headline. No, that's amazing.
And also Danny Drinkwater is more of a legend than Steven Gerrard apparently.
Oh, really?
You did not say that. You did not, Alex.
No, he did not. I can't believe that.
Alex,
I apologise to the audience because I don't even know what Barry's talking about. By the way, I do apologise because I don't even know what he's talking about. By the way, if this is actually bantering, I've got bantered better than my brother's been bantering more than Barry's just done at the moment. You know what I mean? So I don't even know what you're talking about. Anyway, Barry, as you were, there you go, wasting my time again.
Alex, just to make sure you're correct. Danny said that about Danny Drinkwater and Steven Gerrard. If you want receipts, if you go on to Sav's show, there's plenty of receipts for that. So I don't know what you're coming with me. Also, let's go back to Bentancur. He's bang average as well, apparently, Bentancur. And our best right back in the club, Emerson Royale, you're putting in the mud for what? The best right back we've got in the club, and you're putting him in the mud.
You know what? When he actually played as right back, I'm not saying he was good, but I didn't think he was actually too sad when he actually played at right back, not wing back. I thought Royale actually got his shit together pretty good.
I'm sorry, Dan. The bar's low. The bar is low with Emerson. I'm sorry, the bar is low.
I agree. Do you know what?
Guys, the bar may be low, but he's the best right back at the club.
Yeah, but that's
nothing to be smiling about. Blood. That's like England saying they got Eric Dyer in the defence. That's a low bar.
Do you not think he's defensively good?
He's not the most. The problem that needs to be sorted first is not Emerson. So
I agree with that one.
Do you think Emerson's a bad defender?
No,
he's not. Emerson's not a bad defender, right? But he in terms of his overall as a right back. The problem we've got as Spurs fans is we clutch, right? Spurs fans, like Alex said, I agree with him when he says Spurs fans clutch, right? The problem we've got is that Emerson Royale, the bar is, like Philly said, is so low that we see a little bit of like better than a normal level of what they can produce on the football pitch. And we're like, oh, actually, he's good. No, he's not good. Right?
No, I know
he's not a good player, right? Emerson, I agree. He's an awful footballer, right?
Right.
He does a job because he's better than what we've got right now. That's the actual fact.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
It's true.
And this is it. Like we're talking about, like, if we look at like right backs we've had in the past, we've had some great right backs in the past. The best one we've had in recent years is Kyle Walker, right? And he's the bar you have to look at. And even Trippier's a much better right back than Emerson Royale, right? And I know he's defensively is maybe about the same level. I mean, Trippier can also, he's not the greatest defensively, but
Trippier's
at least
a wing back.
But at least Trippier's also got not just defensive abilities, he's actually got
much better player.
And this is the problem. I think Emerson, he's very limited, and people keep thinking that he's going to be our right back.
Alex, so again, Alex is gone running again. When
Alex is gone.
And this is like the third time, Percy. The third time.
I can't believe it.
I think Porro will be our right back.
Yeah, I agree.
On the Royale,
I think Royale would do well at another club that don't ask him to go forward, though. I think he's more of an old school right back. Like, I think if Patton's possible, we're going to need a right back that can actually play ball, and I do agree. that he doesn't suit that. But I feel sorry for him sometimes because I look at him generally as just as a right back. I'm like, he's a good right back. He's just not a good right wing back. And then
I agree.
Exactly.
That's the point. You know what, Ty? You know what, Ty? You know what I would do if I was Tottenham, right? If I wasn't going to go and get another, like, because let's be honest, we're not going to see 3 centre backs come in. We might not even see 2, the way Tottenham are, right? Yeah. I would, if we don't get other centre backs, I would generally use him as a utility player and use him as the other right centre back. I think he could do a job as a right centre back. And because when I saw him playing with Porro a couple of times towards the end of the season, they actually worked quite well together. Where Porro was able to push forward more, right? Because if you look, the way Porro covered is, he likes. Yeah, he covered it really well. Like, he covered it really well. It kind of worked well together.
This is what I'm saying to you. I can't help but have a bit of respect for the guy, yeah? For the sheer fact of, I am not saying he's good. Please don't think that, yeah? But he basically had the whole stadium.
I'll say it. I'll stick up for Emerson, don't worry.
He had the whole stadium on his back. He had every Spurs supporter slating him to the floor because he was playing crap. No two ways about it. And he might as well have just said, you know what, bollocks to it, yeah, I'm still going to play. And he still played. And as right back, compared to what we had and what he had done, he done all right. And you got to say, he's got a pair on him because, I mean, look what happened to Sanchez. He got a bit of hassle on that. He nearly started crying on the pitch. Yeah. Royale just said, you know what, do the lot here. I'm still going to try it. A cleaner
version of
and I thought Royale, as right back towards the end, I thought he did all right. But I'm not saying I'd want him to stay. I'm not saying I don't want a better one. But I think he got his act together better than people give the man credit for.
Yeah.
I agree with you in some aspects. I agree with you though in some aspects. Where Roy has deserved his place in the squad for next season with his performances, but no two ways about it. He's not a good player. I'm sorry, he's not. And for me, the bar is too low with him, and it's with a lot of players as well. And we need to step away from that. We need to be, and that's the bit I'm talking about with standards. You need to have the standard of, are you going to take us to the next level? Are you going to be able to take us into where we need to be going? Because if you're not, then it's time for you to jump off the boat, mate. Because I don't think you're the level that we actually need you to be. And we've kept players here for so long, because they're better than what we have. That's poor. That's a low bar, man.
All right, then.
That's non-existent.
Like a game of chess. Look at it like a game of chess, yeah? You got to start somewhere, yeah? You got to start somewhere. And we can't go out buying players that are going to take us up to the next level, to Champions League, whatever. The only thing we can really do, unless we're bloody lucky right now, is go and take someone who's going to take us up to 6th place. Then we got to cancel it out again, add the players to it that can take us into 5th place. Then the next ones who can hopefully get us into 4th place and take us from there. Keep going on about how, we need better, we're a bigger club, this and that. I've heard it all before. You're right on what you're saying, but we can't do it. So we need players that can take us to a number 6. Then players that can take us to 4th place. So if you keep saying we need the better players here, we need better players fucking everywhere. But you've got to start somewhere. You've got to start your tactics somewhere. And at the moment, we're number 8. We're nobody.
Agreed.
I'm the first one to argue. Purcher said this. I had this out with Sabbath the other day for 2.5 hours. If you go and play that whole squad in a different formation, I think you would see a bit of a better game. I'm not saying they're better, but you'd say a bit better because the tactics more would suit the squad. But we got to start somewhere.
So you're basically saying we've been ramming square pegs into round holes basically for the last few years. Well, I've been saying that for the last 15 years.
That's what we've basically been doing. So now we need to start putting the right plugs in the right flipping hole and start somewhere. And we do have to start low. I'm sorry, it is a low.
I do agree with you, Dan. It's just that at the moment, I don't think it's just down to system, but I just don't think they work well as a team, and that's it.
I didn't say it's just down to that.
Yeah. I just don't think they work well as a team. That's the problem with me at the moment. That's why I said in my spine that the only 2 players I've got at the moment is Basuma and Romero.
I'll agree with that 100%.
And then all the others have to work it out, and that's it for me.
I think Basuma is better than Bentancur.
Oh yeah, I think Basuma for me is my main midfielder, 100%.
I'd say
he controlled games when he was at Brighton. I mean, not last season, season before. He absolutely controlled that game. He's done it with Arsenal. He's done it with all the big boys, and he control. Everyone went off their nut when we got in for 30 mil. Even Man U, what was it? Liverpool. Was it Liverpool offering like 60 million for him before we got in? I can't remember whether it was Liverpool or Man U.
Someone like that. Or Arsenal. Might have been Arsenal.
Yeah, he just did not work for Conte's system. And most of that team didn't work for that bloody system. The only point I've ever tried making, even with bang average players, if you get them in the right formation, at least you can get that little bit better out of them. But we got to start somewhere. The board is low for us right now. It's low. There you go.
Do you think
I've got a few questions because we're going to go for 10 more minutes, guys. Can one person please subscribe? And someone keeps subscribing and unsubscribing and hitting the 800, and they keep unsubscribing because I know you're triggering. I want to hit the 100 at the end of the show.
Come on, guys.
Please, one more subscriber. That'd be amazing. Let me see if it's. Oh, come on, guys, please. We've got some more questions, though. I just wanted to say we'll send 2 likes as well, so we can try and get a few more likes. That'd be lovely. There's 85 of you in here and only 72 likes. Guys, smash the like button. I'm going to ask you quick fire questions. I've got a few that I've just pinned and stuff. This was pinned earlier. Perchy, according to ex-West Ham employees, Steinberg and Fabrizio, Declan Rice is respectful and aware of Man City's interests, but has made it clear his preference in Arsenal and his heart set on. Do you guys think that he will make a move and instead go to Man City, or do we all still think he's going to go to Arsenal?
If Man City offer him a deal, I think it'd be stupid to turn down Man City. It's guaranteed trophies, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And he's going to play with some of his mates, his England mates, Foden and Grealish and these kind of players.
If you're a player, you get the option to be coached by Pep or Arteta. Who are you going to do?
Of course. No, I agree. I agree. I think you got Stones over there, you got Grealish, you got Calvin Phillips. I said actually Calvin Phillips might go the other way, and then they'll be part of a deal. But does anyone else think that where he'll go? I think he'll still go to Arsenal. By the way, I genuinely think I think the West Ham stuff is more paper talk in a way to push the deal over the line. But
I think so too. I think so too.
You know what though?
I think.
Do you know what? I heard whiny Arsenal fans here come out with, "Oh, we've done the groundwork." Man City did the ultimate groundwork. We won the treble, mate. That's the ultimate groundwork there. That's the ultimate advertisement to any player there. That if you come to our club, mate, you're going to actually win and succeed and win trophies. That's the ultimate groundwork there.
So 10 years. City have been building this up since the day that they became City. And everyone was thinking, right, they're multi-billionaires now. They're going to do it tomorrow. They didn't. They basically played chess. They started very slow, worked their way up there, won a bit of this, won a bit of that, got knocked out in the quarterfinals, got knocked out, or was it semi-finals, whatever, won this cup, won the league, Champions League final, got done, next one, thank you. They're there now.
Dan, what was the first trophy that City won? Just out of curiosity, what was the first trophy they won?
League Cup. When they got League Cup, I think it was.
Right, the League Cup, that isn't the club that we say that's beneath us, like the Conference League.
No,
Billy,
I don't say
I've
that.
got a great point on this. I said this all along. You know, when fans belittle trophies like the Carabao Cup, the things like the Europa League and the Europa Conference League, Spurs fans belittle it like we got it. One second. My point being is, I've always said, you know, when all these top managers always say you need that first trophy to start it all off.
Yep.
The likes of Mancini did it when he was at Man City. Guardiola said it. I said this and I said, we never had that mentality under Pochettino. We should have gone in when we were at our pomp doing amazing stuff, going for those League Cups, instilling the mentality at this football club to go, do you know what? We're starting something here. We're going to win the League Cup. Then we're going to win this, then this, then this. We didn't. We just went, you know, we didn't really care.
Perchy, the problem is with that, and I don't want to go harp on the point again, but the point is, unfortunately, his remit was to get into top 4. If he didn't get into top 4, he would have got sacked, regardless whether he's in top positions or not. But Perchy, the proof with the pudding is when we were at risk getting top 4, not getting top 4, he got sacked.
So Alex, no. But Alex, no. What happened when we got to Wembley into finals?
Yeah, I know, but
semi-final.
But you're changing the argument again.
I haven't changed the argument.
You're changing the argument.
Anyway,
but you're changing the argument. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet because I want other people to make themselves known, because it's not fair on me to take up time. My point is, right? My point is that if he didn't get top 4, and it was proven in his last season when it was risk at getting top 4, he got in Mourinho. Yeah, I know he was twerking to get out the club. Yes, he was. But there was a reason why he was twerking out the club, because he was fed up as well. Yeah, he was fed up the club. But the fact is, if he still was in top 4, they would never have sacked him in the first place. You know what I mean?
But if it was only a top 4 thing, then why even bother for the cup?
He got sacked because we were losing week in, week out. We're losing away from home all the time. That's why he got sacked.
We're losing. You're losing games.
I'm just saying that's what it was.
If we're still in top 4 contention, he's still in the job. Because he could have sacked him at the end of the summer. He could have sacked him at the end of the summer.
He sacked him.
Alex, I'm going to help you, Alex. Alex, I'm going to help you because I like you, Alex. I'm going to help you. Do you know the moment that Pochettino got sacked? It's actually there for everybody to see. Episode 1 of All or Nothing is a bit where the NFL talked to Daniel Levy and he says, and they say to him, how is the football team going on? And Daniel Levy's there saying, we're trying. That was the moment that Pochettino was sacked because he had no point. In that time, he had no way to say anything else but to. So he panicked and he brought in Mourinho the next day, and it's there for everyone to see it. Episode 1, All or Nothing.
Agree. Yeah, I agree. I'm not disproving that. But my point being is my point was more in the sense of when we talk about not taking these trophies seriously, but Alex, my point was you were saying that the remit was top 4 and everything else was just a bonus, but we didn't get over the line when we had the opportunity. Was my point. Listen, it's not against it because I think we got it wrong in so many different aspects. So I do agree with certain aspects in what you're saying, but those moments when we should have done, we didn't. That was all I was trying to say.
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from, but that's another point. My point is that his remit was to get top 4 because the fact is he could have stayed. If it was still in
where did
chasing
you
the
say
top
his
4.
remit was top 4, Alex?
Well, it's been proof of the pudding because they were happy with him when we were at Wembley and getting in top 4, and we still were losing trophies, and that's it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. When it was at risk, majorly at risk, that's when they pulled the trigger and said, "Oh, we need Mourinho." That's it. That's all I'm saying, and that's all they need to say, and that's it. Back to you, Hershey, because I know people need to say what they need to say.
It says it there.
I wish you would stop coming out with such Icelandic comments.
Thank you.
Stop doing it.
Sorry, everybody. I know Barry wants
he
always wants requirements of fame. I do apologise. That's the effect of Mr. Box Office. I'm sorry.
I don't need 5 minutes of fame, Alex. I don't need 5 minutes of fame, mate. If I want to, I'll bury you, but I don't. I'm not like that.
I'm gonna do some quickfire ones. Literally quickfire, Alex. I mean it. Quickfire. Any chance of Jed Spence in the team next season?
No.
Yes
Probably,
no?
but I don't want him. No.
Someone didn't say no. I think
no. He could.
I'd say give him a chance.
You've always got to go back. If you go back to when Pochettino came, the perspective of Danny Rose and Kyle Walker.
Yeah, that's a great shout.
Was such a top shout. And players that you didn't expect become heroes very quickly. So I say same with Sessegnon. I think I lost a bit of hope with him, but
he's done.
Probably. There's that small chance. I'm like, maybe he actually can get it out of him. He's a blokey bloke. He's a man's man. If you can't listen to him, then that's it. You can't listen to anyone.
Nah, Tess is finished, mate. I'm going to tell you now, if Tess runs, if Tess even opens up his body, he'll break down. If Tess even opens up and says, look, I'm going to have a go at my man, right, his hamstring will go ping. Yeah. And so there's no point, Bella. I'm telling you that now. Tessino needs to go to a lower level.
Both for Marcus Coulson. Would Cole Steinfeld from Celtic be a better option than Longley? Yes or no?
I'll take him.
I don't know. Would be better than Longley.
I don't know a lot about him.
I actually lost sound. I can't hear anybody.
I wouldn't take centre backs.
Hang on, let me sort out. Speak, please speak.
Hello?
No, I can hear you now.
Hello, the Hershey TV.
Back to me. Now I can actually hear people speaking. Sorry about that. Will people take him?
Probably not.
I'll take him over Eric Dyer. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean that's not hard. I'd take him.
But then if we take him, aren't we aiming a bit low then?
And the final one: could AZ Alkmaar winger, Swedish national Jesper Karlsson? Is it your brother? That's the question. be a good signing for Tottenham. He plays at the same agency as Dejan Kulusevski. Has anyone actually seen him play? I'll be honest, I haven't, so I don't really want to judge a player I haven't seen.
No,
he's not a bad player. He's not a bad player, but I don't think he's anything that stands out.
Oh, fair enough. No, that's fair.
He's not someone I forgot his fucking name now. Oh shit! What's the kid? The kid who was loaned to not final PSV. The one who's from PSG.
Oh, Gabby Simmons. Is it Simmons?
Simmons, yeah, Simmons.
He's a player,
Simmons. He is a player. He's a top player.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, I agree. And I'm going to wrap up very shortly because it's really sunny and I want to go to the pool. I can't lie. That's the reason why I'm rushing. I just want to say, massive shout out. Go and subscribe to Danny Kiriakou and the boys at Tottenham on tour. Great content over there. Go and subscribe to this man up here. He's the real professor of truth and entertainment over on the Shelf Side Spurs show. And if you want to go and enjoy some waffles, go and subscribe to Mr. Waffle House over at Alex THFC. No, I'm joking. Mr. Box Office TV. And if you don't know, you better get to know. We love you, mate. Full ball was coming for the last minute question. We'll go and do it. Would you guys sign Mike Hawke from... he's done me. Oh, I'm fuming. I'm not... well done. Fair play. That's good. You've done me there. But okay, I'm going to quick wrap up, guys, and just say we have hit the magic 800. We've surpassed it, and I just want to say I do want to thank the missus, by the way, because her artwork is amazing, and she's done this for me.
Nice.
We made it.
Congratulations, Percy, man.
Big up, Percy.
1,000 though. We are climbing. We're currently at 803. It's a massive shout out to the guys that have subscribed. I think we've had over 20 subscribers today. So it's massive shout out. And if you don't mind, go and subscribe to the Coffee House. Of course, go over there for your fun and entertainment over there. Guys, we're going to wrap it up. Do we think, on the last question, do we think David Raya will be done this weekend? Yes or no?
If Man U don't snatch him off of us, yes.
Because it's Tottenham, I'd say no.
We'll drag it out for another 2 weeks, probably. A week or
two.
Man.
If we do that, we'll lose him.
It'll be Ange comes in, and that'll be the first announcement, and then the media circus working. So yeah, that's what I think. I'm with Danny on that. I think it'll be a couple of weeks. Maybe.
If I sound pessimistic, I've been here for 23 years. So I know my club like the back of my hand, mate. And this club, we ain't signing no one for another 2 weeks until the 1st of September, the 1st of July, when my man walks in the front door. That's when you'll see Raya and they agree a fee. And it won't be no £35 million here. I want them to pay all 40 because it's about time this club showed their mentality and put the money down or get lost, guy. Because I'm tired of their rubbish, man. Every year it's the same crap.
You know what, Philly? I will actually, like Dan said, I will actually laugh my head off if another club comes in because Tottenham are haggling over like €5 million. I will absolutely laugh, and I just.
I'd laugh too.
Like I just don't even.
There's only one concern because I'm going on a stag do in 2 weeks, and literally I leave fly on the 30th of June. Knowing my luck, we're going to end up signing players whilst I'm there, and I've then got to create content whilst having fun in Hamburg.
Shit happens.
Enjoying my time with my.
Percy Saville will be back before we sign Raya. I'm telling you that now. Saville will be back in England before we sign David Raya. That's how bad it will be. Because they'll drag it on, man. And it's drag it, and it's like an episode of EastEnders, man. It just. Brother, just give me the finishing line, man. I don't want to see it drag on blood. Hurry up, man.
You're gonna put that bet on.
I ain't putting no bet on with you, man. I ain't got the money. I ain't got the money to be doing that with you right now.
What's the bet?
That you think he'll be signed after I've come back from my mate's stag do, not mine. My mate's stag do.
I'll put 20 quid on.
When are you coming back?
Next week?
I come back on the Monday, so I think the Monday's the 3rd of July.
Nah, it'll be done it'll be done before then, because Postecoglou will be in the job before then.
Okay, that's fair. Anyone else?
I'll put money on we'll have him next week.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Okay, you think it'll be done next week? I think it'll be done next week as well. Personally, I'll be honest.
I hope it'll be done next week.
But yeah,
the only thing that's going to be done next week is Alex with some ridiculous comment, probably. That's what's
Barry, stop.
Come on,
anyway,
I'm listening.
On that note, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Massive thank you, guys, so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers for letting us on.
Another one on tomorrow. We'll keep it going. I do enjoy these. These are quite easy. Yeah. In the weeks, I have to keep it restricted to an hour, but the weekends we can make it a bit longer. It's a bit more fun. Thank you for everyone that's watching. Massive shout out to all the guys that have been in there from the start, from joining in the middle, and just being involved in it. Much love to you guys. I'm going to leave it at that.
Take it easy, people.
Have a lovely weekend and go and enjoy the sun.